Welcome back to Wormhole Extremists. My name is David Reed. I'm with Yvie Cahill.
Hello.
And Nicole Rodriguez Galdo.
Hello, hello.
And we are finishing my favorite season of SG-1, season 4 today.
Agreed.
Definitely
it is
one of my
also
faves.
mine. Yeah. So it's going to be sad to see it go, but it's been a journey.
Yeah,
It's
it feels
been a
like we just
journey.
started it, in my opinion.
It really does.
Yeah,
I felt season
yeah.
2, I was like, end faster. While like this time I'm like, season 3 as well, knowing that season 4 was coming, I was kind of like, please also end faster.
Anticipating. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's quite nice to be at season 4 and now we're finishing it. But season 5 is really good. So
It is.
Season
I
5
love
has
season
some
5.
good moments.
Yeah.
The end of season 5 is devastating, as we know.
Yeah.
But there's some good episodes coming up.
I almost like lump certain seasons together based on their intros.
Yeah.
So like seasons 1 through 3 are like that era of Stargate of like the discovery, and not all the discoveries are great. And then season 4 and 5 are like the hey, we know what we're about now, so we're like just building on those foundations that we've already done. And then season 6 is like, we're on a new channel and Michael Shanks has just left. What do?
Yeah,
Which is
the
its own
Prometheus
mess.
era. Yeah, everything is
Yeah.
kind of
What do?
evolving. So what do?
Yeah. And then season 7, Michael came back, and then it was like, oh, it's good again. Season 6 was still good, and there are some amazing episodes.
Glad
that
Corin's
are
not
bad
watching.
timing, considering
hold
I've
on.
just
Good again. My
interviewed
God.
Corin.
Not
Get
about
out of
Corin.
here, you
It's
Len
not
Guerin.
about Corin. It's the writing after the first 8 episodes for me was not it. Corin was actually my favorite part of season 6, and I do wish they kept him on with Daniel so they could just be cute together. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of flicked him just to the curb.
kind of what
but
happened.
Anyway,
It really
yeah.
peed me off. I was like, I was having none of that. But yeah, I felt like the first 8
Mm.
episodes were so strong. They were like, we know what we're doing, and then they were like, oh, I felt like the rest of it until the end.
But season
So-
4.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna wrap this up. You have you've completed your background, Nicole.
Yes, my stepdad came in and built this shelf. Got some space there,
Yay.
some space there. Got another shelf in the corner that you can't see. It's off camera, but
Wow.
it's tiny. And then I got space for my crap on my right here. I've had a rule that says no books on this shelf on my right. It's
Just
just where I'm
crap.
going to store just crap. Yeah, it's where I'm storing
Okay.
my streaming crap. So like it's
Your
now.
shelf
I
space
might
for your stuff.
I might as well just buy just a sign that says crap now based on all this crap. So we've got my camera, my mic, my headphones, and everything are going to go on the right.
Oh,
My work
okay.
stuff, so everything is going to go there.
Even I don't
Book
have a space
queen.
for that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
I
trying to
have
figure out where
set
to put
up.
this. Is that backwards or is it?
No, it's correct.
forwards?
No,
Yeah.
it's correct.
Oh
I
my
didn't know where to put it.
gosh.
But I think it's pretty good. I work from home, so I found this. My boss did not find this funny.
No, I don't imagine so, because your boss is paying your check. He's
I was so
paying for
tempted-
you to do nothing.
To leave this on my desk at work, so that when people ask where I am, it's like, oh, I'm pretending to work from home. So I'm really debating. Let's see what happens.
All right, we're gonna open up Adam's assets.
Yeah.
So his beautiful
Assets
assets.
and that.
You guys got the email?
Yes.
I do, yeah.
Oh dear.
Let me know when
Already
you're
got
ready.
it loaded up, so ready
Yeah,
when you are.
I've got it.
Okay, let's check out Double Jeopardy.
That is hot.
Oh,
And
wow.
Jack's not in the room because Jack didn't go to the execution. I mean,
Exactly.
he did, but
He's
not there.
technically one of those guys, I
Yeah.
guess, off to
Bit
the
of face
side.
paint.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, one of
I
these
know
isn't
that.
Sam, but I mean, you
No.
can't be precious about it.
Well,
Adam was not happy with this, believe it or not.
What?
no, he had a lot of trouble generating an image. Like he was quite worried that it wasn't going to come together in time. He was
Oh.
working on it like all day yesterday, and I kept on checking in on him, and he was just really struggling.
One of the reasons
That's so sad.
that we braked for as long as we did was in my hope so that he could not have to race constantly, and get a few weeks ahead. But I guess I didn't ask him deliberately to do that. So.
When you're a little bit neurodivergent,
Is that what we call it?
Neurospicy?
Okay.
Little Nero spicy.
Yeah. But I mean, this is really, really cool.
I feel like Adam and I are both neurospicy, so we get along.
I
Yes.
like the
I think it's
guns
really cool too.
and the whole kind of twist in all of the technology versus the surroundings.
Oh, the vibe is
Yeah.
perfect. I mean, obviously it's Cronus, not Egypt, but
Tutankhamun,
like
yeah.
but
But still-
Stargate is all Egyptian mythology, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I mean,
It's
he
all the
lands
same
in a
stuff.
freaking
Yeah.
pyramid for crying out loud. So,
Yeah,
you know,
so,
there's
uh,
Egyptian elements.
Yeah.
It-
I like
I
the
think-
light coming from the
Yep.
hole in the ceiling above.
Yep.
And the shadows. I think
Yep.
it's really good.
I will say the guys on the guards on the right and the left and the right, they actually
They're
do
like
resemble
centurions or something.
they do resemble the centurion type of, like, you know, Mesopotamian kind of guys, kind of soldier
Yeah.
vibe.
Yep.
Well,
And I love it.
I also like how they have modern weapons
Yep.
because that's kind of like the Goa'uld, I guess. They're
Yeah.
kind of like Egyptian, but then also they have modern technology.
Correct.
So,
So the
I think-
crisscross was really
or
strong.
advanced
I
technology.
think it's great.
Yeah.
I think Adam should have no gripes with that. I
Nope.
think it absolutely does its job. And we knew exactly what it was. I was like, it's them three, Jack's to the side. That's what it
That's
is. Like, it's
exactly
perfect.
right. The
So
next
great
one,
job, Adam.
Yes, agreed, Adam. The next one is a little bit more abstract, but it still works because it is Exodus. Let's pull up Exodus.
I'm looking at it, and it's big explosion. It
Love
looks like big
it.
Damn it,
supernova.
Sam.
Because
So,
he said to me that he was trying to go for like a Vincent van Gogh sort of vibe.
Oh.
I
And
can see
it's
where it
not
came
quite
from.
like that, but
You can see the
I
paint.
really, really like it. You can see like the strokes and just the color is really awesome. And it's clearly a planet or, you know, a star exploding.
Yeah, it's a stellar body going
big
bye-bye.
explosions.
Yeah.
Go bye. Yeah.
I love that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Very well
I'm
done.
very excited. I wanted to share some wise words from Jeff Golker very quickly based on Double Jeopardy before we go on to our Pictionary bad example. As
Ritu
Evie
Charlie
says.
has some words.
Yes, so he recently finished all of SG-1. He's about to finish all of Atlantis. He's on the final season. He's having an emotional time. Yeah, he watched Continuum, so that's it for SG-1, and he's like really sad about it. So he sent me a review like months ago when he finished season 4, and
Okay.
this is just the first line of it is Double Jeopardy. I gave it a 5 chevrons, and he said Ban Daniel because he's wearing a bandana. So in every
Yes.
season he calls him Ban Daniel.
Yes, Bandania.
And then he said, directed by Michael Shanks. Dude shot his robot head off. Now he can direct the rest of the episode.
That's exactly
My
right.
favorite review.
Exactly right.
The fact that he opened with Ban Daniel, Michael Shanks, and getting shot and directed, I found that very funny. It was very comical. So I just
I
love
like
Jeff's,
Daniel.
yeah, Jeff's late night thoughts when he's watching Stargate make me chuckle. So yeah,
Absolutely.
That's
so
very cute.
Evie, you
So
have
like,
your first bad
example.
example for us.
yeah.
Right?
I do. I sketched this yesterday.
Okay.
And I'm
Nervous.
thinking that it might actually be a little bit too easy.
All right. Well,
But
Nicole
we'll
and I
see.
will
You
not
Make it harder
seen
next time if you
tell
want.
when we we'll tell if we've got it or not, but we will let the
Yeah.
audience figure it out. So
So it's a scene from an episode.
We'll give you a
See from
difficulty
episode.
rating afterwards.
yeah, absolutely. You ready to open it up and check it out?
Out of 7 chevrons, yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's go have a look at it. You ready, Nicole?
Yep.
Okay.
Boop, doop, doo.
I got it.
I told you that was like under 5 seconds. My God.
Hold on,
This
hold
is
on.
really cool, though.
Mine
This is
hasn't
really
loaded up
good.
for some reason. Mine's not coming in. So I'm gonna have to wait a second. So David got it in a second. Now let's see
Yeah?
if I can get it in a second.
This is really
Hold on.
good, Evie.
Oh, thank you.
You drew people, not stick figures.
Kind of. I tried not to draw them with
Evie,
I
this
wasn't
is
gonna draw them with
incredibly
facial
artistic.
features.
Yes. Nicole, do you have it?
No.
Really?
Maybe just check on the stream because it's up at the moment.
No, I have it. I just can't figure
Oh,
it
you
out.
have it. Oh, okay. And I was
Anthony,
making
it's not
apologies
Tokra Part 1.
beforehand
No.
because I was
No,
I
this
was
is-
concerned.
I'm-
That kind of does work for Tokra Part 1, doesn't it?
It
I was kind of concerned that
does.
the bottom right hand corner looks a little bit wrong, but yeah.
No, this is whoops. This is Atlantis. I'll say that.
It's
Is
one of
it-
my
is it
favorite
mad
episodes.
That I'm actually having big stroke. I got it.
You got
I
it?
knew you would. I knew you would.
Is it the
It's such a
shrine?
good
Yep.
episode.
That's it.
Yes. it
Took
is
me
the
a
shrine.
minute. Took me a minute.
That's it. Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie, actually. I'm gonna say that was pretty difficult for me. So
Oh, really?
I'm really
good job,
impressed
Evie.
with
That was
this.
very good. I
Yeah.
was sitting there and I was like, who's
Oh,
like
thank you.
lying down with the thing on their head? And I'm like,
Yeah.
But yes, The Shrine's one of the best episodes of Atlantis. I
Yeah.
do agree.
No, absolutely. That was very well done.
Oh, thank you.
And I didn't look at the image beforehand when I pulled it over, so I accidentally pulled over a piece of the screen on the left-hand side here, but it didn't really obstruct anyone else. I'm trying to. What's the stuff to the left? Is that like the entrance to the cave?
The stuff to the left is
it the
a
light?
light.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
There's
light.
like a light fixture.
Okay.
And some of the light is shining, like, I guess, on the camera taking the picture, and then the other light is facing in the other direction. And then the sort of circle things are supposed to be like the outlines of the cave.
Oh, wow.
Everyone in the chat is being like, "Oh, I thought it was SG-1." Again, my brain went there first.
Yeah.
My brain did that as well.
No, you can't keep it just fixed on SG-1.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was this close to doing one from Universe, but then I
Whoa.
couldn't because I thought that would really throw you guys.
It would really throw me. The fact you chose Atlantis threw me.
I mean, I know Universe fairly well, so yeah.
Okay,
I know
next
it,
time.
But I don't think I would know it that well. I think I wouldn't get it. I would really struggle.
Yeah. So that would where
Especially
I would
because for
be
me,
if I was viewing an image from Atlantis too.
Universe isn't
not
for
Atlantis.
me.
Universe.
Is the episodes don't stand out as much visually, as in it'd be hard for me to find an exact moment in an episode to be able to like draw and struggle. While like with SG-1
it's more of an ongoing story, whereas
exactly.
Atlantis and SG-1 are more individual episodes for the most part. So
Literally
it's hard to sort of pinpoint an exact episode because it's just sort of chronologically running.
Like
so,
I can
get that.
play that game where you can show me any screenshot from SG-1 and I'll go that episode and I'll usually get it right.
For sure.
Atlantis, it's a bit harder. Universe, I'd give up pretty quick depending on the episode because they wear the same clothes in every single episode. There's no changing.
That's true.
It's like, what would I do? So yeah.
All right, you guys ready for Double Jeopardy?
I am so ready for Double Jeopardy. Let's double Jeopardy up. Ban Daniel.
I love this episode.
Ban Daniel.
That's really cute.
This is one of those rare moments where in my fangled way of watching Stargate, where I missed seasons 2 and 3, it didn't matter because I got to this one and I was like, oh, it's the androids from season 1. And I was like, I've seen Tin Man. I know this. So that was nice because I didn't know who the Asgard were. I didn't know who the Tok'ra were. I knew nothing. All the replicators. So seeing Double Jeopardy was so... I was like, Harlan came through and I was like, oh. So
come try
Come try.
Let's step back into the
thing.
What?
Anyway,
he
does that thing with his hand.
Oh, he goes
yes,
like that.
With his it's this.
That yeah.
Yep, and the actor can still Jay Brazeau can still do it, so it's great.
I don't know. Yeah.
All right.
He's a treasure.
Double Jeopardy.
Yes.
Let's go.
All right, guys. Let's get started in 5, 4, 3. We are the Wormhole Extremists, and we are back with Double Jeopardy for X-21, Stargate SG-1. My name is David. I'm with Nicole.
Hello.
And Yvie.
Hello.
And welcome to the planet Juna.
Yes. So this is the first and last episode directed by Michael Shanks, I believe.
Yep.
And I was going to say straight off the bat as well that there are a few telltale signs that this isn't the real SG-1 coming through the gate.
Brown.
So yeah, first off, they're packing MP5s, but the actual team has upgraded to P90s.
Correct.
Then there's Daniel, who's mysteriously ditched his glasses. Carter gets thrown off when Darian, in a second, addresses her as Major. Plus, both Daniel and Carter are sporting longer hair than the genuine members at the time. And another red flag is there's no Melp that's sent through for like a safety check. And also Tilk, he's without his signature staff weapon.
Oh, fair point.
I'm not gonna lie, they've actually done a really good job of making them look younger because like their hair is all very convincing right now.
When Daniel leaned against the DHD, he rocked it sideways.
Moved.
I saw it.
Yeah, it did move.
I remember when I watched this episode for the first time, obviously because I missed out on season 2 and 3, I thought that like I had like massively missed out on some episodes of Stargate.
Yes.
But then I realized it's just one of those like off-screen situations.
So this very tall gentleman with the amazingly deep voice. So that is John DeSantis, I believe, who plays Jafar number 1. He doesn't have a name. So this is actually his sole appearance in Stargate, but he actually went on to portray Cronus in 5 episodes of the series Olympus.
Wow.
And the other cool
Interesting.
connection is that he was actually directed by Stargate veterans Martin Wood for 2 episodes and Andy Makita for 1 episode. And also Amanda Tapping directed 4 episodes of that series.
Wow.
So that's kind of cool.
Okay.
We'll cross it over.
I was
Did you notice that was one of the
well,
rare episodes that fade out on Daniel rather than Jack at the beginning?
Yeah,
notice
I was
that?
wondering
that.
Yeah.
I never noticed that.
Jack
but
is
that's totally
always
right.
Richard Dean Anderson is always, you know, his title.
He has the last
is,
say
right,
before.
Right, exactly, because he's the leader. So
Yeah,
it's interesting that they closed on Daniel first.
I forgot to mention as well, this is sort of going back a little bit, but there was a gentleman that we saw. He was the first to pop up with a crossbow in the bushes.
Yeah.
That was a guy called Michael Johnson, and it's his second Stargate appearance. He was actually Apophis' Jafar in the Serpent's Lair, and he shows up again in Evolution Part 1 as Ramus's Jafar guard, and in Avalon Part 1 as an F-302 pilot called Redmond.
Okay.
Damn.
Yes, yeah, with Mitchell. So
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
sure.
He's one of Mitchell's flyboys.
yeah.
Love it.
Well, that explains
So
why it
as
didn't
we-
close on Jack, because Jack was knocked out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it makes sense that Daniel has a little bit more of the dialogue at the beginning, since Daniel is about to be knocked off, shall we say. So
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think what Michael
Get
Tranks
all
wanted to
these
give
lines
himself
out.
a little bit of screen time before he gets killed.
well,
he
he's
can direct
been
the rest.
missing already for an episode or 2 this season. So yeah, we
Yeah.
haven't really seen him a
Yes.
lot.
Yeah. So
Major card. She doesn't realize she's major.
they commented
Yep.
that so Cronus showing up on Juna kind of throws a curveball at the SGC, because they often told a number of planets to bury their Stargate
Yep.
just to stop the Goa'uld from coming. Like there was Korai, there was Demons, a few others.
Yep.
So now with Cronus landing on Juna, it's clear that this strategy might not really be as effective as they thought.
Yeah.
That said, I think advising planets to bury their Stargate was more of like a quick fix.
Yeah, because
So
they can
the
come in
SGC
spaceship like this time.
Exactly. But like the SGC was aware that many of the system lords had ships capable of reaching these other worlds, but they probably figured that the big heavy hitters wouldn't bother the smaller, less significant planets, because it wasn't worth like their time and resources.
Mm.
So this is Cronus's first prime. So Cinder is played by Bill Croft, and he actually returns as an unnamed repo man in Citizen Joe.
Okay.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. Teal'c with that clenched jaw.
You can always
Yes.
tell when he's clenching it. I
He's
really
so
like
good
that.
at it.
Yeah.
I don't clench my jaw, but I like do that thing where one of my eyes like angrily, flutters open and shut when I'm irritated.
Yeah. So in terms of like timelines, so although it's not shown or referenced in any episode, Darian before identifies Sam as Major Carter.
Yep.
So that sort of suggests that the unsuccessful liberation of this planet took place sometime after Fair Game.
Yep.
Which was about 2 years ago. So if anyone was curious about the time.
Lockwatcher just put in the opening scene, the gate was in the same location as Prodigy, but redressed for the episode. That makes sense. It's very helpful.
There you go.
Don't have to move it around.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I love this scene.
Yeah, so do I.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, this wife is the real MVP.
The SGC
I'm
could have
just
dropped
waiting.
off what you call Iris to these planets.
Yeah.
That's a Harlan reference. I mean, yeah, but it doesn't keep them from coming in ships.
No, well, I feel like it protects them for now, but then I feel like no matter what, whenever the Goa'uld arrive on a planet, they always reopen the gate because they want it for ease of transport and stuff, and so
Yeah.
that's when they find out. So I guess they should do like regular check-ins to make sure the gates are still buried. Oh, she's gonna make the major comment now, isn't she? Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
This looks like a lot like the prison set from the Serpent's Venom.
Oh,
I wouldn't be
Oh, it
surprised if
could
it's the
have
same
been.
one.
Yeah. I know that they also use, I think they use what was I going to say? I think they might use something from Absolute Power. I'm just going here. So apparently during the audio commentary of this episode, they shared that the set used for the interrogation of Android Carter and Android Tilk is actually the same one from Absolute Power.
Oh.
And
Look at them reusing sets.
Apparently it's from the moment when Jack confronts Daniel right before Daniel, attacks Moscow.
Yeah, I assumed.
So it's from the Vegas, the Vegas style set.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have a question just for the shippers in the world.
Duh.
Right? Do you think that because Android, Sam and Jack are like, not following the same levels of command structure as they were before, do you think that they were getting it on?
I don't think so, because I think they are so like the command structure would be so ingrained at this point. I don't think they would have gone there.
Yeah, no, they're pretty.
Even though they are androids.
Yeah, they're pretty neutral with one another in this episode. But then again, they're on a mission, so they don't really have time for any other kind of business. So
yeah, I like to think in my head that they did.
So it looks like didn't they just say that they buried the Stargate?
Yeah, but then they unburied it because of Cronus.
Yeah,
this was always my concern. You can bury your Stargate, but eventually they're going to come, and in this episode we see it. So
if they really want to come to your planet, they have the means. So
you have to be checking in with these people constantly. You can't just leave them to their fate. It's up in their world and their the regime that runs them, and assume that everything's going to be fine. These Goa'uld are playing around in space, and when these planets fall under new territories, they come and they raid them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Jack just said it was the right thing to do no matter how it turned out. And this sort of echoes Daniel's line to Jack in the previous episode, An Entity, when they're discussing how Sam was trying to communicate with the entity. Do you remember that conversation that they had?
Yeah.
And Daniel said, like, basically, no matter what happens, it was the right thing for Sam to try to communicate with the entity. I just thought that was interesting. We also kind of missed, I thought it was sort of a bit of a missed opportunity when Android Jack was like taking a little sip from that cup. He didn't mimic like OG Jack's quirky habit of fishing like invisible food out of his cup.
But he was definitely suspect of whatever was in it. So
he was a little bit, yeah. Also, I kind of had a question about Jack's hair. So we don't see his darker locks again until Mobius, I think.
Yep.
So what I'm curious is, how did they pull off the filming? Like, did they have RDA like shoot his scenes as OG Jack first and then dye his hair for Android Jack? Or like, surely they didn't use a stunt double for like all of the Android Jack scenes.
Here's what I'm wondering, actually, based on what we're about to see in a minute, which is that I noticed during several moments in the scene where they're going to wrestle in a minute, that Richard Dean Anderson seems to have some like leftover paint on his neck from when he was playing Android Jack.
Yes.
So I think that they did Android Jack first, and then they put a cap on Anderson's like standard Jack. And did it in that order, because that paint on that guy's hand that Jack uses to cover his face and everything.
Yeah.
You see it on the neck, and I was like, no way in hell during the wrestling did they like
transfer that? Yeah, that's fair point.
So Jack just covered that exposed hand with leaves, and I was going to say, well, that leaves Cronus with one less helping hand.
Oh, Yvie. Oh, Yvie. That was good though.
I know.
I'm so proud of you.
Funny.
I can't wait for you to like bring
Jack in the group, so
a notebook to like wherever we go to do more Stargate stuff in the future, convention stuff, and bring a little notebook ready
with my pre-prepared like statements.
Yeah, you'll find a way.
Pre-prepared material. Yeah,
you'll find a way.
It's like Asgard. You guys met the Asgard?
Yeah, so what Cronus says is like entirely true. So the treaty's safeguarding doesn't cover humans when they're off-world. So that means the Goa'uld are completely within their rights, according to the Protected Planets Treaty, to capture them. So there's definitely kind of a loophole in the agreement.
It's a loophole that they like, yeah. I remember when I first watched this. Sorry, go, David.
Cronus made this clear at the end of...
he did.
Yeah. So
exactly.
I was actually, I remember when I first watched this, and I was like, I was trying to figure out what was going on because I hadn't figured out that it was Android them yet. Even with Jack's comment, I think I was like so young when I saw this that I was so shocked when Daniel got his head blown off. That I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I was like, what's happened? Because I'm so used to Stargate trying to throw me for a loop
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out what the throw was, and then I was like, oh, dum dum, the hair's long, the androids, which I love. I love Tin Man. That's a good time.
Looks like heads are gonna roll.
Michael Shanks is about to return to directing the episode.
Exactly.
Brett, stop looking at Jack so much. Like, you're going to be too obvious.
Well, he's
Right, exactly.
Yeah, he's kind of trying to communicate what his plan is. Although they can apparently communicate not telepathically,
Correct.
but you know
So
what
they
I mean.
say, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Ban Daniel, Gecko Fett said, yeah. I miss Daniel's long hair. It was so pretty. He was so cute.
But his shorter hair is like him coming into the character on his own.
I know.
Like
Yeah,
rather than
exactly.
taking up.
But his
you know,
season
James
10
Spader,
glasses,
so-
big no-no.
So Kronos, if
So-
Kronos was watching, he would have completely got that.
Yeah.
That wasn't subtle
Well,
enough.
No, so somebody on Reddit commented that Android Jack's nod to Android Daniel was a sign, obviously, of understanding. So he knew that exposing Android Daniel's true nature would unleash chaos and disbelief among Cronus's followers. And Android Daniel chose to sacrifice himself to break this sort of facade. So after all, even as an android, Daniel sort of remains true to himself.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Michael Shanks mentioned in an interview that I saw, or read, should I say, that piecing together this particular scene was quite a task.
Yeah, it's his
it
head.
seems it was a last-minute addition to the script, and it was intended to be shot in a single day, but ended up stretching into 2 days.
Wow.
And there was like 25 people in the frame, and they needed to ensure like proper coverage for everybody.
Yep.
Plus, he also pointed out that there was a bit of a challenge with the somewhat graphic subject matter, which they had to address carefully to avoid being overly explicit.
In terms
I
of
think they did a great job.
the beheading.
Yes.
Yeah.
Terms of the beheading.
Well, I love that tight shot because that's his actual head, and they just,
Yeah, Lockwell just said that Michael Shanks literally went on the floor, did that. They CGI'd his body out.
Yep.
And then
I think they did a good job considering.
RDA apparently rolled the fake head along the
Oh,
floor.
of course he was going to have.
Of
fun
course
with
he
that.
did. He played soccer with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
It says "Come try ya." Please don't open it.
I also really liked when, like, obviously in that scene a second ago, the way that Teal'c and Sam were like responding to Daniel dying. They were pretty pissed, you know?
Yeah, of
for sure.
course.
Like they just lost their. I know that Daniel's still alive, but like not in
That
their
they're
sense.
not connected with
Their
them at all
version.
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. I love the way it came through the gate. He's so good.
It's first time going through.
I love his little whales. They're so cute.
Honestly, brilliant actor.
Oh, I wish this character came back so much more.
Me
often.
too. I
Well,
love
it kind of
I'm
does.
so
Not
glad
the
he
character,
did.
but the actor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so glad he came back to do more
At
Tin
least for-
Man. I'm so glad
Yes.
he wrapped it up.
His energy. I just love him.
I really love that coat as well.
Well, Christopher Judge
yes.
looks like he's trying not to laugh,
Yeah.
but
I'm
everyone else
sure.
is pretty serious.
Well, Jay is just a cut up. He's comedy
Yeah.
is just. I want to have him back on this season. So,
Yes.
Just trying to find the right topic.
So I love how he shrinks into his collar.
Yeah.
Like it really gives him that sort of like startled turtle vibe.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Ron Halder. Why would you
you're
be
asking
saying
what we
that
are?
in
Yeah,
front
you're a god.
of your Jaffa?
Your
Yeah.
followers,
You'd be
yeah,
saying that
exactly.
in private.
You
If
would
you're a
be.
god, you are all knowing, aren't you?
Yeah.
They really should have like scrubbed that from like their belief system in order to help cover themselves when they screw up.
So Amanda Tapping's wig is not great. You can see it's not her hair, just the way the light's reflecting off it.
It's not terrible in the way that it looks. It's the color that's really wrong.
It's the color and like the
Yeah.
texture, but
yeah.
it's probably ironically
close
one
as I
of
think
her
they would
better
get.
wigs. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not in this nearly enough.
Yeah, he really isn't.
Well, I mean, it's almost halfway through the episode.
Yeah.
God, yeah, it is. I love this. I like that he's like, they couldn't help themselves from being you.
They are you.
Yeah. Oh, Hubbled. I love when he talks about him.
Of course she wants to.
You can show her later. He put his...
I love that though. It's so cute. I'm glad they were able to like fix the Teal'c version and separate the Gould and Teal'c in the android body.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened to Harlan after this, because he says he's grown accustomed, he can't live without them. But in
I felt really bad.
901,
Yes.
when they're briefing Ben Browder, when he's selecting members for SG-1, they mention a body recovered from Harlan's planet. I wonder if it was Harlan himself who eventually died.
I really hope it's not. Why would you say that, David?
Because it's
I didn't even
quite
put
a
that
possibility,
together.
unless they ran across
Well, it
another
is.
body on Harlan's planet.
I want Harlan to live forever. He deserves it.
I know, but he can't keep the whole facility up and running by himself with that weird
Move somewhere
Yeah.
else with a better
glue
power
that he's been
pack.
painting on. Yeah.
Well, I was going to bring that up later. Like, without the original and Android SG-1 members as templates, like, would
Yeah.
Harlan have enough data to recreate the replicas?
Yeah,
Because he
it's
did
not
say that he
established
couldn't
if-
go without them,
yeah,
so
if
they don't say that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a. Yeah, it doesn't suggest that. Oh, yeah, I can just make more. You know, it seems like he needs the templates.
Yeah. Oh, poor Harlan. I hope they help him out and he doesn't clone the next people. Oh.
So I forgot to mention before that Darian is played by Matthew Harrison, and this is his first of 2 Stargate episodes, and he actually returns as an unnamed scientist in the SGA episode Conversion.
Ah.
Okay, well, I just want to say that this guy is an absolute cutie and I love him and his wife. She is also a cutie. Honestly, this is a couple that I just want to keep seeing, like the occasional visits.
That's the question
They're a
you
great
should be
couple.
asking.
Yeah.
They're you.
That's Harlan's argument. Not me. They're not.
I love how they say Daniel was on a mission, like a mission to direct this episode.
That's
I
it.
love that Harlan's like, oh, because it's like, because Daniel's
Yeah.
the one that would listen and he's not there and he's like, my only
Right,
friend.
exactly.
The voice of reason isn't there.
When you subtract the different voices, you get a different conversation. You really do.
Yeah. If Daniel was there, he'd be fighting really hard for it. This is great.
Lockwatcher says the gal who played what's his face's wife, Michelle Harrison, also made appearances on you mean SGA and SGU as well as because he says Stargate SG-1. So
Michelle Harrison, Matthew Harrison's wife, has also made appearances. Yeah.
oh, Matthew Harrison's wife. I see. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Oh.
I feel so bad for Harlan. This is big sad.
Big sad.
Ugh.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh, he's so
That
cute.
giggle.
In the face of something so terrible, he's like, oh no, he's like trying to be so positive. I love him so much.
Well, maybe it's more like he's excited about the prospect of leaving his planet to go to another
I feel like he's
planet?
trying to
I don't
find
know.
some goodness in the terrible.
That monitor is not a
There's a
touchscreen.
goof.
No, it really
No,
bothers
it's
me every
not.
time they do this. 'Cause
Yep.
They did it in a
And-
window of opportunity. Ugh.
There's like there's a little goof here for the eagle-eyed viewers. So the computer screen actually shows the planet's designation as P2X729, not P3X729.
Ah.
Oh dear.
And she literally says it like a second later, and on the screen it's definitely a 2.
Lockhart
Dialogue
said maybe
technically
Harlan
wins.
traveled to Ergo's planet. I would love for Harlan to go to Ergo's planet. They could be besties.
Yeah.
Togar and Harlan together.
Yeah. I would watch the episode.
Yes.
I would watch the episode.
Both characters with a lot of energy
Yeah.
that either like really get along or that like completely clash.
Yeah. But then maybe in that way they like complete each other and become like, the best duo possible.
This is one of my issues with continuity. So
I just saw the point of origin.
right. So it's
Yeah.
the other Stargate is beginning to lock chevrons before it's dialed. So
Yeah.
as they narrow down the glyphs, do all of the corresponding gates that have that address light up, and then
That's a
all
good
but one.
point.
That's
just
what
shut
I've
off?
always wondered, and it's something that I try not to think about.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I've never thought of it like that.
You're knocking
but
on a lot
yeah,
of doors
exactly.
simultaneously.
Yes,
Yeah.
So you
exactly.
narrow it down to the one.
The only episode where like I have no gripe with the gate system is when all the gates are being dialed at once.
Yeah.
In season 8. It's like, oh yes, all of them
Yes.
dialed. They're all doing the right thing.
I can't unsee this. This is absolutely the same location as the moon planet from Prodigy.
Yeah. You can blame Lockwatcher for his fun facts for that one.
For sure.
Oh, this is gonna be great. I'm not gonna lie, SG-1 arguing with SG-1 is just such a good time.
You would feel disembodied here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you've seen him before, bro. Yeah. Like they're not in chain command.
not under
anymore,
his
still
command,
calls him
yeah.
George.
No, he's not.
Uh-oh.
Alan?
No.
Yep.
Ooh. So rude. Love it. This is great. I love this guy. This guy just turned on the Gould so fast.
Darian,
What
yeah.
a,
He,
what a
he
bro.
really did, yeah.
I trust
I
you
think
any day, honey.
he was sort of hesitating anyway, like before
Yeah.
the whole Daniel robotic head roll. Even
He's
like
such a
getting
good
told
guy.
by his so-called god to kill someone, even
Yeah.
if they were just an android, I think his mind was already starting to like churn.
My favorite thing is the way that when Android Jack was talking to him, the way that he just still listened and argued and they just talked about it casually. It was just really nice.
Yeah. I love how he's putting himself in his own in his place.
Yeah. Oh.
Like he's like they're like his children.
Literally, it's so sad.
We need
Quite the
backup.
army. Yeah, that's quite the
Help
army.
us.
Army of two.
To be fair, they weren't. I don't know when they were planning on checking up on this planet, but they could have been really far gone with all this drama if it wasn't for Android Team. So
Mm-hmm.
I would have really loved for it to cut back to the SGC and Harlan's just like absolutely irritating the hell out of them.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Like just poking around his office, playing with the stuff.
Yeah, he would have just been like, "Get out of my office," like he does with I think it's Jack and Window of Opportunity, where he kicks that hole in his wall, and he's like sort of half smiling and then half serious, and just like, "Just get the hell out of my office." He would have been like that with
And I just want to
Harlan,
say, this woman to me was just such like you just coming in here with your whole I don't want to say the word because it's I think it's inappropriate, but she has a whole vibe beginning with the word D and ends in an X, and I'm totally living for her.
I didn't even consider that. Thank you very much.
Just the outfit is just so
all right. Do you have any info on her, Yvie?
I know that it's her only episode. I don't think she
Yes.
comes back in another role.
So that bridge set is the first time we see that set for the next 3 episodes, including this one.
Oh, well, let's see if we can spot paint on RDA on OG Jack.
Okay.
So I think I see it on the other side of his neck.
Bill Nikolai played the other Jack in the
Yes.
the digital face replacement. So when they both lift up, Bill is actually, I believe, the one in the darker clothing. So
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think I saw a like a behind the scenes image from
Yep.
that. So, Android O'Neill, Andrew Jack, he just responded in reference to the opening narration of the $6 Million
Correct.
Man. So,
Mm.
Stronger, Better, Faster, which was a show about a former astronaut with bionic implants.
Yep.
Also, I didn't realize that like one of the stars of the $6 Million Man was Richard Anderson as Steve Austin's
Brilliant.
boss. So I'm assuming that RDA maybe had to tack on the Dean to stand out from Richard Anderson because he would have already been in the industry.
Yeah.
Just speculation, but I'm assuming.
So I think the paint is on like the back of his neck or something. I'm trying to see where it
Okay.
is. I think I remember seeing something somewhere in a second. They're so cute. They're adorable.
The lighting on,
It's
like,
slightly different, isn't it?
yeah, it is slightly different.
And also the whole area is desaturated, so
It
every
is.
one of
You
these
can
is
really
color traded.
see. Yeah.
Mm. But it's pretty decent for the time.
Yeah, they do this, and they do it in this episode, and I believe they did it in the Forever and a Daydream sequences with with the pink planet.
Oh, yes.
I love that it's just covered in straw.
God.
Love how he's trying to show himself up.
Is it his ear? I'm trying to figure out which part is it because I remember seeing it. I'm trying to catch it. It's so subtle.
I so own you.
I love when he was like, "This is the first time you lied to yourself." I feel like that when he's
Right.
decided to go on a
It's
diet,
great.
and then he just hasn't gone on the diet or something. Like that's like
It's also the engineering set in
It
in
is!
Enemies.
I'm just realizing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this woman is a total like I feel like I've met this woman in Baldur's Gate.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I had a really weird 5-minute crush on her growing up, where I was like, "Damn girl,
Yeah.
you so fine."
I love the outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little
She's got
bit.
very striking features.
Oh yeah.
She really does.
Absolutely.
She's got a
Yeah.
very strong jaw.
She's
Well,
actually got
gold
really,
don't
really
like to
big
look
eyes.
Bad.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
enjoy.
No, they don't.
They pick hosts that. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Mm.
Yeah. Weakness.
She's
I
got
assume
good cheekbones too.
she's dictating to some kind of recorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's speaking like she's like narrating.
She falls for this pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like she dumb.
Although, like, Android Sam does hold out for quite a while.
Yeah.
So, of course, she fell for it because, she thought that all of that torture had, like, led to that moment when, in fact, it was just her being strategic.
You're gonna get all gooey in the process, in your own goos. It is convenient how quickly all the rest of SG-1 fall.
Yeah, they fall really fast.
I
It makes me sad.
was going to say later on that I'm not sure whether they succumbed to their injuries or if it was just their power running out.
It was a combo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For RDA, for Jack in particular.
Yeah.
Well, it could have been for all of them because assumably they were all running on the same like battery charge.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they can't be brought back to life after they're gone. So they
I
couldn't
don't
have
think. No,
returned
they
the
can't
body.
be reanimated.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe Jack, the Jack robot is the body they're referring to. So can they actually communicate internally here?
I fully believe it because, like,
Yeah,
the
I
way that
kind
they're
of-
doing things.
I kind of
Okay.
believe it, but
Because they are.
this
So
is
they
like
are
the
made
only
aware.
reference that they make to it, isn't it?
Yep. Exactly. They'll
Yeah.
do what they can. Peltac means bridge.
I love how he keeps snapping.
Yeah, I know the static.
Put this thing on.
Oh, that's funny.
So I was reading an article by a guy called Steve Eremo. I assume his surname is pronounced. So Michael Shanks in this article was reflecting on his directorial debut about 6 months after they wrapped up this episode. So he shared that he'd always been keen on directing, and he'd closely observed how Stargate was filmed and how directors managed their craft. So during his downtime, apparently he'd even hung out in the editing room to see how scenes were stitched together, and he felt like his transition into directing an episode was a natural step for him. And he described the episode's storyline as ambitious, and he noted that it required one of the longest shoots in the first 4 seasons. So it was 10 days for principal photography instead of the usual 7.5.
Wow.
And the variety of interior locations, he said, was remarkable. And they utilized Stage 6 at Bridge Studios to construct what was then the largest and most costly set. And it seems like Michael didn't realize that he would be directing this specific episode until just before the initial script read through. So it came as it sounded like it came as kind of a surprise.
A nice surprise. He got given a big present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do find it alarming how Stargate is able to like turn around episodes in like a week, but given on the way they reuse sets and do everything, like no wonder they're able to get the filming done so well and so quickly. But I'm just thinking no, go.
No, you go.
Oh well, nowadays if we had like a 8 to 10 episode season, like most things are now, imagine what Stargate would be now. Like it wouldn't be the same fast turnaround.
Well, I assume they sort of bundled episodes together in terms of locations. Like they probably did Prodigy in this episode, maybe like back to back.
Yeah, that's probably why they reused the locations.
Yeah.
For sure. Absolutely. Save money.
Oh, I love how he did the crossover shooting.
Yep.
Very cool guy. And not his bad knee.
Oh, gosh. Am I the only one who thinks that Kronos looks like Vigo the Carpathian?
He 100% looks like Vigo the Carpathian. You're absolutely correct.
Good job, team.
I want to watch Ghostbusters now.
Yep, absolutely. Nice and
He's
gooey.
just got some light seepage.
Just a flesh wound.
Oh, yeah,
Tis but a scratch.
A little
It isn't
gas.
your arms off.
Yeah, gas.
I just imagine him just sitting there, like slowly, like farting out oil, while everyone's around, and just like, what an unpleasant way to go. I'm not gonna lie, right? I really hate Cronus, so this is like such a fun episode for me.
He's a great bad guy.
Yeah, he sucks. Like the fact that I want to see him die this bad is like that's good job.
Yeah, come on, Tilk. We knew that wasn't going to happen easily.
Yep.
Yeah,
Guess it's worth a try.
always.
I don't know why he throws it down
now.
though.
But he's gonna get physical now.
Yeah.
He's
I
like,
guess.
I'll use my fists.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like, yeah, of course that's not gonna properly work on Android Teal. He's just gonna like absolutely bunce him.
What does this mean?
Yeah, you're about to blow up.
Yeah, it means you're about to go boom boom.
Kind of wish she ran out of the room and lived, and like maybe she and Nirti like ran off and became new like scientific besties. Do you feel like she and Nirti hung out when Nirti was a prisoner?
I doubt it.
Maybe.
Would have been nice.
I'm wondering if that force field protected Sam as well.
She has minor injuries.
I mean, she has that big cut on her face, doesn't she?
Yeah, she has like some peeled, I guess, skin, for lack of a better
Rude.
term.
Man was about to get his revenge. I'm not
know.
gonna lie. The way that android Teal'c like sacrifices himself is absolutely my favorite thing ever. The way he does it is 10 out of 10, and that is so very clearly not looking like Amanda tapping.
Yeah, she got hit.
I like the Teal'c's like, I know what's going on. Bye. He didn't even
Yeah.
say
It's
it.
just
He's like, I know.
superficial.
Jack hanging out with two Sams. Oh,
Yep.
it's living his dream.
Doesn't he say that like he wishes that there was two of them?
In
in
Gemini
the episode,
in season 8. Yeah. I've rewatched that moment a lot. What I love is that instead of killing him, Cronus is like, "No, I'm gonna do this the proper way," and therefore like slows down like the process. Like it could have been done and dusted and killed these guys way faster.
See,
but
why
no.
kill the android when you can kill the real thing?
Exactly
Yeah.
right.
And if only he just killed them. Oh god, fake
Just-
Amanda tapping is bothering me.
Fake Amanda Fake Carter.
Yeah.
I guess fake Amanda tapping too.
God, just standing like her though. Is that actually her back there? And they're just like doing cool things with the camera.
Split screen?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, that was a really complicated thing in the Vampire Diaries where they had one actress playing 4 different characters, and like
my
in one
God.
scene she was there 3 times, and it was like
Oh, wow.
so the splitting of the screen was insane, and it was so much fun to watch, but an absolute nightmare filming this stuff.
So
You got it.
symbiote crushing does seem to be Cronus's like signature move.
It's his
Exactly.
thing, yeah.
Obviously, it's like the same brutal method he used on
On his
Teal'c's
dad.
father years back.
Yeah.
Something that we saw in a glimpse in a flashback during Crossroads.
Yeah.
And I really think that his nickname should be the Symbiote Strangler.
Yeah.
It has a ring to it.
Like the Scranton Strangler.
Yeah,
but, like-
exactly.
It's funny.
So I will say, I'm not gonna lie, right? The other SG-1 team are SG-1 as far as I'm concerned, so I'm really sad to see them go.
Mhm.
But my favorite thing is when Android Teal'c is saving Teal'c's life, and then his last words are "for our father,"
Yep.
and he says "our" because it's
Yes.
their dad.
Yep,
Like Teal'c has
absolutely.
respect for like himself and his original.
Well,
Yep.
I was actually
Their
going
dad.
to ask, like, do you think OG Teal'c will struggle with the fact that he didn't personally
Yeah, for a
avenge
little
his
while.
father by killing
I
Cronus?
suspect.
well,
Yep.
he
Ooh.
kind of
like,
did
it's
though because they're
significant.
both Teal'c. So
But it's a significant personal vendetta, and he sort of missed out on that direct retribution. So it might be kind
Correct.
of tough for him to reconcile with it.
Yep, because Teal'c
And-
kind of takes out Cronus, but kind of not.
Yeah,
well, it's still him.
Well, it also kind of occurred to me that maybe that's why Android Teal'c shot Cronus 3 times.
Well, he nods.
Like,
He
one
nods
for
a bit.
himself, one
Oh.
for like as a stand-in for OG Teal'c, and one
Yeah.
in honor of their father.
He has that moment there where his head's kind of lolling down, and he's kind of lulling and going falling down, and his head kind of nods a little bit
Yeah.
as like an acknowledgement of their moment. It's weird because Teal'c like doesn't have any siblings, but it's almost like it's like Teal'c and his brother just got their vengeance together. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
It's such a good episode.
So the system lords were already at a disadvantage with Apophis's fleet outnumbering them more than 2-1, as we learnt in the Serpent's Venom. So with Teal'c taking out Cronus, he's kind of tipped the scales even further into Apophis's favor.
Honestly, yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. That's why Apophis becomes such a threat.
Logod said, yeah, this is another planet who rebelled against Heruwa.
Yeah,
Because we meet another planet in Memento, the Tagrians.
that's true.
Yeah.
He didn't have a lot of good luck.
No, and you know what? He sucked. I'm glad he's dead. So
Well, once Ra was gone, that part of the family tree just kind of began to fall apart. So
yeah.
So this episode really gives new meaning to the phrase personal sacrifice, don't you think?
yeah.
Yeah. I really wish that we could have kept alternate SG-1. One of my favorite things about Stargate is when it does crazy stuff like this. But I kind of wish we didn't revisit them, because then I'd have this nice idea in my head of alternate SG-1 out there just doing their thing.
Mhm.
But no, here they
Yeah.
are. They're dead. But I'm glad we got closure, because we never get closure. So
That's true.
So RDA's acting here is very similar to the Blue Crystal Jack.
Yep.
Like he's talking the same.
Yep.
As he's dying.
And yeah, right. And the reaction when the orb inhabited him too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
It's weird staring your own mortality in the face, you know, kind of like that's a line that Dr. Weir says in the episode where the older alternate version of her. What's the episode called?
Before I Sleep.
Atlantis. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, it's kind of scary seeing yourselves like die. But you know what? Let's feel better knowing that there is a young, hot Jack out there somewhere. So,
yeah, his interview with Peter was great.
I love that.
Brought him on for a Peter DeLuise interview just yesterday. So
I saw that this morning. I love him a lot, and I loved him in Twilight.
Back and watch it.
This is a great admission.
Yeah.
They're not useless.
Yeah.
It's so mean the hate that Jack has for the android versions of them, because it's literally just them. They just got put into unfortunate circumstances.
Yep.
And it's like, it is just Jack. It's very sad. This episode's great. I love this episode. I'm having a good time.
It is a good time.
I'm sad we're not starting season 5 tonight. That's not how we do things.
Nope. And this is a 3-sided pyramid ship landing on a 4-sided pyramid.
Yes, I read that the VFX team had to get creative in the final shot. And the Juna pyramid is 4-sided, while the Hatak mothership has 3 sides, unlike Ra's ship in the original movie. So they had to deploy some visual tricks to pull it off. I was going to say that the android storyline is actually continued in the Stargate SG-1 novel Hydra, where a rogue NID faction crafts new android duplicates of SG-1 dubbed Theta SG-1, and these are sort of like dark, twisted versions, and they're infused with Goa'uld programming from Junior, making them ruthless and solely focused on their own survival.
That actually sounds really cool.
That sounds really fun. The more menacing and evil something becomes, the more into it I am. I'm just like, oh yeah, gimme. Terrible. This episode's really good, guys. I'm like super excited to eat this up in the next 10 seconds when the credits roll.
Double Jeopardy, everyone. Thanks for joining us. All right. Well done, everybody.
Anthony, if you're here, what did we give Tin Man? I'm curious. Dang, and our certain song is stuck in my head. What song stuck in your head? Was there a song that came up earlier in our heads that we brought up that's stuck in Shimmering Victoria's head? Someone help. Becca said side of your life. Becca said, I've read Hydra. It was great. Becca reads the books.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
chevrons
cool.
would you give the book, Becca?
That's a good question.
Out of 7 chevrons.
Yeah.
And so Anthony said that he liked that Teal got his revenge. Yes.
So I think maybe Nicole needs to do like a spin-off series of her TikTok channel where she discusses the SG books and rates them out of chevrons.
Oh no. Will I be doing it all by myself?
Well, I can't read as fast as you can, nor do I have the time because I'm not always slacking off at work. So,
Brian, John, I don't slack off work. I promise you, I don't do that. Anthony said that David and I gave Tin Man a 5, and Yvie gave 4. Just curious as to where we put our ratings last time. So I love Tin Man. It's a good time. It's one of those season 1 kind of like building up episodes of where we're just going out for funsies. So I feel like the massive payoff is that we finally get to see the outcomes of these things instead of just, you buried your gate, you're good now. So I mean, this episode slaps. We had that hot torturer lady. We had a hot Darian and his wife. Everyone's really hot. Harlan was being a cutie patootie. There we go, got it. Come try it, you know. I think that the chemistry was chemistrying. I got to see Michael Shanks's fluffy hair. You know, that's really important.
Hidden under the bandana.
I love the band. I'm not gonna lie, bandana Daniel really does it for me. Like he can keep the bandana on. You know.
He's very cute with the bandana.
So what would you give this?
I think I'm gonna give this a 6.
Okay.
Close to a 7, but I'm gonna keep it at a 6 because I'm trying to be realistic here.
Okay.
So yeah. I think it's a good time. I think it's really well done. Michael Shanks did a great job, and I just love clones. So very fun.
Okay.
You want to go, Yvie?
No, you
Okay.
go. You go. I'll go last.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite episodes from season 4 for sure. But looking at it in terms of the context of everything else that's going on, I love the return to the Tin Man story. I love the fact that Jay Brazeau was back, and in the little time that he was on the show, I think he was even better in many respects than the first episode that we saw him in, because his character is already so firmly established. We know exactly who this guy is and what.
You just smile so much when you see him.
That's right. The visual effects are fantastic. I love the return of Cronus and the conclusion of that piece of Jaffa revenge. The next episode also has more Jaffa revenge to take care of.
Yes.
This episode is a 5 for me. So. Yeah.
Okay.
I miss Daniel. I miss Daniel in the episode.
Me too.
Yeah, man, he was there in spirit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
In smoldering spirit.
Everyone missed him. Harlan missed him too, you know.
For sure.
Yeah. But like even without his head, he had his head in the game. Yeah. So I think straight off the bat, I'm gonna go with a 5 also. Because I think I enjoy it more than Tin Man.
You've just gone one up from Tin Man.
Yeah.
I think in Tin Man, I actually felt almost a little bit like claustrophobic because it was a very narrow set. You know, it was just sort of in that warehouse. And it was just sort of that kind of drab warehouse feel. Whereas this is sort of feeling a little bit more adventurous. You know, it's out in the wilderness. Plus you've got like the cool pyramid. The expansive set there was really impressive. I do like that they've again picked up with the android versions of the team.
Yep.
I loved seeing 2 Jacks, obviously.
The big
fighting each other.
For Yvie.
That was funny.
And 2 RDAs
I liked
in the
the way that they kind of like just like verbally sparred with one another as well. It was quite amusing.
That Jack doesn't like himself.
Yeah, so much chemistry with
actually that's a very depressing take on it. But yeah, probably 100% correct.
Yeah.
I think they did a pretty good job with the graphics.
Yep.
And I also enjoyed the fact that Tilk was able to kind of avenge his father's death in a way. It was a version of him that avenged his father's death.
He still did it. It just wasn't his hands, but it was
That's
you know
right.
what? It was a team effort.
It was a team
Because Teal'c
effort.
went and saved other Teal'c, and then Teal'c then saved him back, and then Teal'c shot Crone. It was just
Clone.
That's true.
Robot Teal'c doesn't say for my father. He says for our father. So he's making sure he's sharing the credit of this victory. So.
Yeah, that's true. He didn't have to do that, and he did.
Him saying for our father is like what makes it like really like hit home for me. Something about that is just so beautiful, you know. Because I'd like to think back to like Teal'c with the alternate reality, just shooting himself. He's like, "Now screw you, other Teal'c." But like
that's
this
right.
time,
he does just shoot himself.
They're good. It's just he doesn't care. He's like, "Yeah, ours is the only reality that matters."
That's it. Of consequence.
The only reality of consequence. Yeah, and so it's like, bro, like, but I'm glad that with this he was there's a totally different understanding and appreciation for himself, and I think that's great. I'm you know, so I've gone up by 1 chevron from Tin Man. David stayed the same, and Evie's risen by 1 as well, which I think is
up by 1. Yeah,
super cool. Yeah.
All right, guys.
So before I start doing the stuff,
yes,
Becca said it's been a while, but 6 chevrons for the book. She gave the book.
Wow,
so we're doing that for the book.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm going to do the ratings for the actual episode.
That's Hydra, the book Hydra.
Yeah,
okay.
Hydra.
Definitely going to read that. If Becca's recommending it, I'm extra
I'm
listening.
interested
Becca,
to
if
see
you got
what you think of it. Yeah.
I'd love to follow you on Goodreads.
Yep.
Okay, so so Anthony said, I like the Teal'c got his revenge. For that, I give this episode a 5, the same rating that I gave Tin Man. Nice. It just goes to show that this storyline is something that we all enjoyed. So. Gecko Fett said 6 out of 7, always a good rewatch, good humor and acting. Jack versus Jack is always fun to watch. Nick Nar says at least a 5 for me. Jacob says 5 chevrons. Anthony said he already had the ratings ready for us.
Of course he does. Yes,
Oh,
he's
thank
in our
you,
heads.
Anthony.
I really need to send
you're a
Anthony
good
some
sword.
flowers and chocolate. Or something. Goodness.
Yeah, you're
That'd
not
be
far
cheaper
from
for
each
me to
other
do.
in the scheme of things.
No,
so,
I
yeah.
can really do that. So Raywood said 5 times 5 for 2 sets of SG-1s. That's a 10 out of 10, but 5. What do we got? Mac Boland's Conscience says it's a 5 for me. Nice episode. Logwatcher, I would give this a 6. Bringing Harlan back was great. The elimination of the smug Cronus was worth the wait. Brackets, when Jack said Cronus was dead, I thought he was going to hand Cronus's broom to Darian. Sorry, hold on. Had my throat went funny.
All right.
Becca says 5 for this episode. Jean Diada said a nice solid 5. Like the matching hair details and love Harlan. I wish I had emotions towards Cronus. Then it would have been better. Yeah, we didn't get to see much of Cronus, but like given that Cronus killed Teal'c's dad, I think we all have like
I always enjoyed
heightened
Ron Halder.
hatred. Yeah, I like his
He was a good
performance a
bad
lot.
guy.
And having him kill Teal'c's dad and like him reappearing when he does to seeing that is like extra, just that little cherry on top.
Yep.
So, because he didn't need to come back for Crossroads.
No,
he didn't need to,
no,
and
it's
he
a
did.
great, just little one scene. Yeah.
And we knew about it, but we never saw it. So being able to, I love Teal'c flashbacks.
Ron Halder was great about that. Peter Williams was great about that. So yeah, he came in all the time when he didn't have to.
Absolute bro. Dan Ben says 5 out of 7. Lewis Cox said 6. Dan Ben said one of his favorite episodes. Becca said, but regarding the books, I'll get back to that in a minute. Shimmer Victoria said 4. I love Harlan, however you spell it. It's a good one, just not one I really have much desire to return to. Oh, I love it. Yeah. Personally. Yeah. So Becca said some of the books are fantastic, some of them are awful, and like the author, never even watched the show.
Wow.
No.
They have some, so there's like e.g. 2-way wormhole in one. And some are totally out of character.
That's interesting because Sally Malcolm, who was responsible for Fandemonium, she really kept all the details in line, along with the folks over at MGM, who I
imagine
it's
quite hard for them to proofread.
Yeah, but there's a person in MGM who's responsible for examining all of that.
And they didn't do it?
Well, I can only take Becca at her word here, so evidently something was missed. But there was someone in-house.
Yeah. Okay.
I hope to bring her on one day when she's retired, who was responsible for all of the continuity. So
I think as an audience member, if Becca is experiencing this as a member of the audience, and something in the process obviously went a bit awry.
Broke down,
Yeah. But you can't win them all, can you? Especially when you're expanding stuff. I mean, Stargate, I can forgive for almost anything. Star Wars has done a lot to destroy itself lately, and I'm still mad about it.
Has. Yeah.
So, including the books, they did a book for Jedi Fallen Order that made no sense between the two games, and it ruined everything. Like, there's there's a central
I don't know what
story
they're doing with that franchise
in Jedi Survivor that was really good. And it started in the first game, and then they really came to fruition in the second game a bit better.
Yeah.
But there's a book in the middle that completely it's like that. Yeah, it just ignores it completely. And then the game doesn't even recognize much, like maybe one thing that happened in the book. And that's just not enough. If you're going to make a book, make it matter.
Battlefront 2
upsetting.
that featured what was her? She played Dusty in season 5 with all the women's team. Battlefront 2, the Star Wars game that had the female lead.
Yeah.
Who was? What's her name?
Gavankar?
Janina Gavankar. That's it. Yeah.
So, I love her. She's in the Vampire Diaries and True Blood, and she's like my favorite.
She was in. She read.
And she's in Alan Wake. Control. Sorry, carry on.
It's all right. She read the prequel novel for the Battlefront 2 story, which takes place after the Battle of Endor, and it completely throws away everything that the Battlefront 2 game does in the prequel. It's basically the same exact story. She defects again, or she defects, and then in the video game she defects again, and everyone should be like, you've just done this. The whole galaxy knows that you did this. What's going on here? And it just didn't make sense. So, but anyway,
that's a pity. I mean, it's such a massive universe, like the Star Wars universe. It'd just be hard to keep everything straight. But it's kind of a pity because there are a lot of fans out there who know a lot of details about it, and then you go and kind of ruin it.
They kind of
Stargate is a lot easier to deal with, but yeah.
In
Smaller
Star Wars,
universe,
there's 1.3 million planets in that galaxy that are all plugged into the Republic, so it's a lot to deal with.
I will say, fun fact, in case people didn't know, Janina Gavankar was at the royal wedding for Meghan Markle and Prince Harry.
Really?
She's a friend of
okay.
theirs. No one knew who she was when she was attending the wedding. She was known as like the woman in the orange dress, and I was like, I know her.
That's cool.
Yeah, and she's in
cool.
the Alan Wake 2. She's going to be in Control. So Jeff and I are huge fans.
All right.
So yeah, I love her a lot.
I
And
want to have her back. I talked to her on Gate World when I was over there, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love her so
cool.
I would honestly like lose my mind if I got to meet her, because she's honestly one of my favorite guest stars and people to appear in anything. Whenever she's there, I'm like, yeah, I know. I honestly, she's like my girl crush. Like,
Right. Yeah.
like she and Katie Sackhoff are like my two girls.
Yeah.
So I love them so much.
Let's bring on Exodus.
I'm so
Wrap up
excited for this one,
Season
guys.
4.
Yeah.
This is a good time.
SG-1. You guys ready for this one?
I am ready in the next second. Yes.
Sec as well. Yep.
All right.
This is such a good time. Let's go, guys.
Let's go ahead and bring this out in 5, 4, 3. My name is David Reed. I'm with Nicole.
Hello.
And Yvie.
Good day.
We're watching the Wormhole Extremists Season 4, Episode 22 of SG-1 finale, Exodus. And everything is coming together for this episode. So they're catching us up on
PTSD.
Tanith and everything.
So that little beard.
Yep.
Hate that beard. Oh, bitch, go away. Hey, Cronus.
There we go.
Cronus has been really like around this season.
He has.
And
Yeah.
I'm loving that. Like the mentions and, you know, last episode, recap, his spaceship we've just stolen, 10 out of 10. I'm not gonna lie, guys, this season finale actually feels like, it doesn't feel like end of the world, but it feels so important to like the actual overall narrative. While
There's
all the
a
other
lot of
season
mythology
finales-
Oh, it
happening
is.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like one of my like favorite finales because they are actually utilizing so many aspects of Stargate that we've like grown to love. So it's like, yes, let's go, let's use it.
So I think this episode actually marks the first season finale cliffhanger penned by Malozzi and Mully.
Okay.
And it was also the last time we'd be left hanging on the edge of our seats at the end of a season until we hit Camelot in season 9.
Yes.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, I do like the they kind of stopped making us do that as much.
Yes. So this opening sequence could be possibly a nod to Star Wars. Additionally, there's actually a moment like 3/4 of the way through the episode on Borash where the camera sweeps over an elongated dragon-like skeleton, which is very similar to Star Wars episode 4. This is Kirsten Williamson as Jalen, although I don't think her character's named in this episode.
No, she's
She
named
actually
in 48.
returns-
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, in
the
Failsafe.
Yes.
And then she also pops up in Continuum as an officer.
Oh, okay.
I love the way that he's like, what's going on? And she's like, oh, we're nowhere expecting it. Like Tanith is now being like kept fully out of the loop because they're about to do their stuff.
Jack's opening line here is like totally baller. And what is happening with Daniel's face? He looks like he needs to sneeze.
I think he's not happy to see Tanith. I think he's pissed.
It's a fair point. What's going on there? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He had his mouth open for the longest time.
Wonder what happened to all the Jaffa that they locked out of the Peltac level. What happened to all? Did they kill them?
No.
I'm assuming
wipe them
so.
out?
Or Teal'c tried to offer them freedom, and then we saw how that potentially maybe have gone.
Yeah.
then they
Maybe
killed
Raytak
them.
turned up and was like, freedom. Yeah.
Where do these
So,
slaves go? So anyway.
I don't know. It's a very good question. So the episode features a lot of familiar faces. So we have obviously Carmen returning as Jacob, Peter Winfield back as Tanith, and Peter Williams reprising his role as Apophis.
Yep.
And in this episode, apparently SG-1 takes out 13 Hatuk ships, and that tally brings the count of Hatuk vessels destroyed by SG-1 to 20 since the inception of Stargate Command.
Okay.
Good job, team.
13 that we see. Yeah.
That we see, yeah. And this episode snagged an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Special Visual Effects for a Series, alongside Small Victories.
Wow.
So SG-1 bookended season 4 with an Emmy nod.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, they did put a black hole in a wormhole in a star and blew away a solar system. So, like, that's got to be Emmy worthy. So,
yeah, for sure. I love this set design. I just
Me
love
too.
it with the crystals and
with the sprayed hay.
the sprayed hay. Absolutely. I'd just be like,
think
don't come around the corner. I'd be if those wider shots with a lot of people standing next to you. I'd be afraid I'd turn a corner and poke my eye out with the sprayed
that's
hay.
what I was wondering.
Oh, yeah, you'd have to be careful.
How much did it smell of like paint and farm in there?
Paint and farm?
Hey,
That's a good
yeah.
question. Oh,
Here we go.
Tanith just looks so smug as always.
Honestly, I like cannot wait for Teal'c to get his really poor revenge, but he gets it. I hate his revenge. It's so annoying. It's like I know they were trying to wrap things up, but it just frustrates me.
Okay, so Jack says that their new ride is sweet. So, okay, so this is like a wild TV show concept, but pimp my Hatak. So imagine giving these Goa'uld motherships like a flashy makeover with all of the latest tech upgrades, snazzy interior design, like a sleek new paint job. So that's my advertisement. So coming to a communication ball near you this winter.
Oh, funny.
Pimp my Hatak.
I'm like imagining like in GTA when you like steal a car and then you take it over to like the paint and spray guys, and then they just like redo your car and then you roll out and like it's ours now, like it's unrecognizable. Oh my god! Can you imagine rolling up to like a car shop with a Hatak vessel, just being like, "Hey, fix it, spray it."
Oh, so T-Man is dropping some truth
Here
bombs.
we go.
Damn right he is.
Yeah.
We've been feeding you misinformation.
Yeah.
You awful person. Well, oh my god, guys, Apophis is gonna die next episode. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh,
Finally,
spoiler.
irreversibly. Yes.
I don't want him to lose his like Peter Williams to lose his job, but like, you know, he really needed to die.
I think he's
had
a
a good
surgeon
run.
now. I think he's a doctor.
This guy is, yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yes. Not Peter Williams.
Yeah. I'm not
The
gonna
other Peter.
lie. If he like was my doctor, like if I happened to go to a doctor's office and get him, I'd be like, I'm sorry, you can't, sir. I cannot work with you. Like, I don't trust you. I know that you like I separate actor from, you know, that, but like,
Yeah.
I'd have trouble with that.
We just missed that really warm look in Jacob's eye. So I think it sort of just proves how highly he regards Jack. It's like that look is just everything. It's very cute.
Yeah.
For sure. So Peter Wingfield, so he's an anesthesiologist.
He is, yeah.
Yeah. I've tried to get him on the show, and they're like, "Well, he's kind of busy,
He's busy,
these days,
yeah.
anesthesiologizing."
Yeah.
He's busy saving lives.
Yeah.
I've watched
Exactly.
enough Grey's Anatomy to know they're very busy people. So
You should know that regardless of watching Grey's Anatomy or not.
oh dear. I learn everything from that. As does Terry Crews, apparently, in that episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where he says that he watches Grey's Anatomy a lot.
That's right.
This Toker costume is so bizarre. I've never been
Yeah.
crazy about it. It's
No.
kind of
No,
hanging
me
off of
neither.
them.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
It's
So-
pigskin and
Ugh.
pig and it's
Ugh.
stomach lining.
Ew.
So those words that Tanner just said, like about being, you know, satisfying to see pain and fear in your victim's eyes. So these words sound much more unsettling knowing that he's a doctor in real life.
You know, by the way, he like I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but he was in X-Men too,
Yes.
as like one of the guys that attacks the school.
Yep.
And like I remember
Oh.
recognizing him and just being like, oh, Canada, because like you realize very quickly how many of the actors and supporting people and like areas are like the same stuff that they use in Stargate, including sets. But you know, Tanith is such a slimy, evil, bad guy that like he is He's a handsome man, but I can't see him as like, I'm not gonna lie, he doesn't look too dissimilar from my boyfriend in terms of like his nose and like facial
Yeah, I
structure.
see it. Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah,
like,
a little bit.
but I'm not gonna lie, right? I hate him so much. I can't be into him.
But it's not him.
He
It's
plays
just
the role
it's just the
really
character.
well.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah.
Oh, they're trading barbs back and forth.
They really
Look at
are.
Teal'c's smug face.
So, do you guys think that Teal'c's restraint with Tanith is a sign of his like mental growth since he joined SG-1? So, like, this guy was Apophis's right-hand man, so we know that he's got some like serious skills when it comes to committing some not so great acts. But ever since he's like joined the team, it seems like his perspective has shifted. So he's starting to see like the bigger picture, you know?
Yeah.
So thinking like beyond just sort of one faction and considering the whole galaxy, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's grown a lot and like opened up
Yeah.
a lot because like especially in the earlier days, like he didn't tell anybody about Cronus, he didn't tell anybody about his son, he didn't say a lot. And
But,
like obviously with Sharnak, he restrained himself from killing
Yeah.
Tanith. Initially, like he nearly killed him, but then he's chilled out since, you know?
Yeah, I think his temperament in this episode is very even.
Yeah, I'm
considering.
very proud of him. Until later on.
Jack
Later on,
still
he
thinks that
has a
he's
bit,
going to be
okay.
bringing this ship back to Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did win her fair and square.
They
Yeah.
did, yeah.
Big fat asset. Slap another big US Air Force bumper sticker on the side.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. Oh boy, here we go. Yeah, they can't just take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you watch the scene, you'll notice they do a complete loop.
I was
do
actually
they?
thinking
Walking
that,
in a
yeah.
circle?
Yeah,
Oh
they
wow.
do a complete circle. They pretty much start where they started. Stop where they started.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good way of making use of limited space. Yeah, so I think that the Tok'ra kind of need to point that finger of accusation inward. Like the Tok'ra have basically been involved in the downfall of like several Goa'uld, directly causing at least 3 deaths. So like they assisted SG-1 against Hathor, they helped kill Seth and Sokar, and attempted to pit Apophis against Herawa, which resulted in Herawa's death. Their actions even facilitated Apophis's rise to power with like a massive fleet. So it might be worth considering if the Tok'ra are partly responsible for the
100%.
galaxy's like current turmoil, rather than placing all of that blame on Earth.
The Tok'ra just need to chill on their arrogance a little bit.
Yeah, they do.
He's alluding to the way to eliminate them once and for all. I think part of that is the symbiote poison, which would also, you know, wipe
I
them
don't
out.
love the symbiote poison thing.
Yeah.
It's
No,
very
nor do
sad.
I.
It takes out my favorite boo, my favorite cadet. Still upset about it.
Elliot.
Yeah, he's so cute.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh dear, I'm not gonna lie. I would not fall for this crap. Just let him die. Blah blah blah.
Okay, so in a few seconds' time, it's kind of a goof, but it's done pretty well by the actor. So you've got to keep an eye on the Toka guard. I think he's on the left-hand side of the screen in the back. So he pulls out his Zat gun and it doesn't deploy like all the way. He kind of has to like tilt it forward.
I want to just slap the woman that's about to walk in.
Yeah, I'm never crazy about her.
I think we can, darling. I think we can.
Mm,
You either kill him now or you kill him later. Like he's dying no matter what. So
The compressed air, yeah, it didn't come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a second.
is he though?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
He had a Zat trained on him from, 10 feet away. I
He
have a
conjured
hard
it?
time believing that he got out of there. But you gotta buy it.
yes,
Go,
you
Teal'c.
do.
Get on it. Get out of the room faster.
Yeah, I think I'm going to buy it on credit rather than cash.
Yeah.
Seems like less of a commitment.
Great golden hour shot.
Yeah, it's pretty. I'm not gonna lie, I would not hide something in the sand like that. I'd never find it again. I don't care where you put it. Sand shift, my guy.
Even with
This
like
is
a
true.
big, like identifiable piece of wood like
Nah,
that.
it is gonna move. Something's gonna happen.
He didn't really. It wasn't really a deep hole either.
No,
And, like,
that's what I mean.
the
The
sand's
sand's
obviously
gonna
shifting, so
exactly. You could see
you'd
it.
want to bury that sucker deep.
I love
But there must be
Jack's hat.
sandstorms as well.
This
The
is
hat's
great.
I
so
know
dumb.
it's adorable. The bucket hat. It's very cute.
It's like they're being guarded.
So, according to Joe Malozzi, that was an ad lib by RDA, the boned without water. So the
Yes,
original
very
line
left
was, the original line was he's screwed without water. So Joe said that after watching the dailies for this episode, Paul Mully came into his office and questioned whether they could get away with using boned on TV. So
Showtime,
in retrospect,
Yeah.
Joe rationalized that Showtime didn't have an issue with it, but it would have raised eyebrows over at Sci-Fi.
Yes.
Yeah.
So because they were known for like providing an overview of their standards and practices before every season. So apparently this led to the realization that the acceptability of certain words hinged on context. So Joe recalls that he and Paul spent an afternoon fine-tuning dialogue to like cleverly include other potentially inappropriate terms, carefully crafting sentences like somebody pushed that jerk off the ledge. Like within those guidelines.
Of course, yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
so clever.
Lewis Cox said Exodus and enemies will be Apophis' last appearance until Continuum. No, he reappears again in Mobius or Mebius because Peter Williams said it was
and the
Mebius.
He says
Changeling.
Mebius.
And
Yeah.
we say it's Mobius and the Changeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that post season 4 interview with Steve Aramo that I mentioned in the last episode, Michael Shanks spoke on how the season had unexpectedly shifted focus towards the dynamic between Jack and Sam in this season. And as a result, Daniel's role was more subdued, with his character taking like a back seat to general team interactions. And I think this episode is sort of like a pretty good example of that because he's kind of just
100%,
there.
Yeah.
And in this interview, Michael said that he hoped for season 5 to reintegrate Daniel more deeply into the team's dynamic and storylines.
Yeah.
So given that Michael's eventual departure is at the end of the next season, that interview kind of gives it some context.
Very strong point.
Yeah.
So this is the grand master plan that's going to wipe out Apophis.
Honestly, this is the
Yes.
smartest. This is so.
Yeah.
This blew my mind. I was like, "Excuse me," because I hadn't seen the black hole episode.
Yep.
So I was like, "You want to when? When did that happen?"
Yeah.
You know,
And you blow up one sun, everyone expects you to walk on water.
walk on water.
That's
Yeah.
right. Even though it's technically a star.
This is a great
Yeah,
idea.
it really bothers me.
They could have invented a Tok'ra device that could have done the job, but they go back to
Matter of time.
P451 in a matter of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think it's a good
This is a big brain
callback.
move. Yeah, you know what I'm realizing? So like season 4, I love season 4. I think actually one of the reasons why. So you guys say it's like your favorite of the show.
Yes.
I think my favorite would be probably season 7, and I think that's because Michael Shanks has more of a front seat kind of thing. I think SG-1 all kind of gets to shine on their own in season 7. Richard Anderson less so because he's taken a back seat, but
Yeah.
I loved seeing Daniel, Teal'c, and Sam get to do some really cool stuff. And I do think
enjoyed
that season
7 too.
season 4, I do think, is lacking my boo Daniel. He is just the background
Yeah,
comedy
he's just
most
there.
of the time.
Yeah.
So who in the chat has read the books?
Becca.
Okay, I wonder if Becca has read A Matter of Honor and The Cost of Honor. Becca, please let us know.
Yes, please, Becca.
Yeah, because I have more to say. So,
And if you've read any of the books on my shelves, because I'd love to.
A Matter of Honor and The Cost of Honor is a 2-parter
Yep.
SG-1 story that where Jack is struggling to get over the death of Henry Boyd, and he knew
Yes.
Brilliant,
he
yeah.
knew Henry Boyd's wife. So
Oh, okay.
And I think the cost of honor ends with them recovering the unit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
Thank you,
I read
Nicole.
that somewhere online. Yeah.
How are
So,
you supposed to do that?
how are you supposed to
I
do
don't
that
know.
when you've had millions and millions of tons of superheated plasma thrown in your face through an open wormhole?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not sure how they make that work in the book.
Yeah.
After this episode. So I'm curious as to what
Becca said
Becca
they
says.
have.
So
Ooh,
do they answer
okay.
that, or do they overlook this episode in the story? So I'm curious to know how they do that.
That's what I mean. Being consistent in like in universes that are trying to expand is always really difficult. Like I can criticize the Halo novels for doing the same thing that most novel tie-ins do.
Oh,
It constantly like pushes stuff to the side that it shouldn't.
yeah, they're just using the characters and the situations to
Yeah.
Right.
the
But there are
IP.
some aspects that are excellent about the Halo novels, but some are just not. They do just miss things or just ignore, and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Jaffa
So,
Revenge is always making this man brood.
Yeah.
Oh, he really
Broody
is.
Teal'c.
So, when Teal'c said that he wanted to avenge Shinnok's death, do you think maybe his emotions were running extra high because he never got the chance to take down Cronus, technically,
Oh.
himself, for his father's murder? So they did
He
bring
doesn't
up
want a
Crossroads in the
star
previously
to
on segment
take
at the
his
beginning of the
revenge.
episode,
Mm.
Yeah.
which was the same one where Junior showed Teal'c how his dad died. So
Yep.
it kind of feels like all that unfinished business might still be haunting Teal'c just a little bit.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised.
I mean, also Teal'c talks in well, they find out in season 8 that Teal'c doesn't truly believe the ghouls can be like taken out, and in Arc of Truth he talks about all that pain.
Yeah.
There's
I feel like Teal'c's never gonna.
maybe my favorite moment from the Changeling, other than the help me wide shot scene, is the dream with Apophis saying, deep down in the afterlife, I'm going to be waiting for you. And that has always stayed with me. Because, there's some part of Teal'c that I can understand would never completely shake that indoctrination.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I did like that Daniel just came in to like try and talk to Teal'c and try and be like, that helpful voice of reason. Daniel's just such a cutie. Yeah, he takes such a backseat. I'm thinking about like seasons 1 through 3. Daniel really did like do a lot, but I think that's because the early seasons were so introductory to so many cultures that Daniel really did have to take the lead a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Which and season 4 and 5, everything's already set up, and sadly a lot of the setup is not about him as much. So we don't get to focus on him as much.
Yeah.
Look at this.
He's a little child.
Swing his legs.
Shotgun. Yeah. They're both smiling low, like they're amused.
Yeah. I love when Daniel and Jack are playing with the balls.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so cute.
I don't know what they made it out of, like rubber band or something, but it's like occupying themselves with something.
It's very cute because it just shows that like they, like even Daniel can have some fun and mess around, and even he gets bored. He doesn't have any reading material.
Yeah.
Is anyone else bothered by the look and the change of the star from the exterior shot to the bridge shot?
A little bit.
I'm not.
I'm
not
guessing
really.
that that the bridge monitor portrays it a little bit differently because of filters.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
They won't expect to see a gate hurled into the star.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell is looking for that? Who's like, yeah, we've entered the system. Oh yeah, let's check the star.
Right.
See how it's doing.
Well, in Elite Dangerous, when you arrive at a star system, you arrive at the star and then fly away. So that's how they do hyperspace travel: is they throw themselves at stars.
I was actually thinking about something very silly a minute ago. So in Mass Effect, when they jump to other systems, they use the Mass Effect fields in order to help them jump. And one of the characters that you have in the third game, she has a toothbrush that uses tiny little Mass Effect fields to remove plaque. And I was thinking like, oh my god, imagine if you could like get a little tiny Stargate like attached to your toothbrush with a little like gate address and just put it around your plaque and then like remove your plaque that way.
That's
Wouldn't
hilarious.
that be something? So
I think
this is a digital gate.
Yes, can see
Yes.
that.
Well, I was going to say, you might notice that the glyphs are gone from the gate in most of the shots. So I think the creators sort of decided that those little details were unnecessary for driving
big
the
effort.
story forward.
Yeah.
So it would have actually probably have been a bit more expensive as well if they did that. I was also going to say that you could argue that P3W451 is like a returning character.
Yeah.
So as it did in A Matter of Time, this planet sort of plays a very pivotal role in driving the plot forward.
Yeah.
Almost as if it were an actor playing its own part.
And with the Ashen in season 5.
Yeah.
The first planet is a black hole. They get progressively darker after that.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, look at that. The glyphs are gone. I never noticed that.
In a second, you do kind of see it a little bit as it's like
When it gets
rotating
closer.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I also like that they've got the swirling of the gate. So when I was a kid, right, I didn't fully, because I hadn't seen the black hole episode.
That's
I
what
didn't
that is.
realize
Yes,
that
that's
the
a
spinning
callback.
Is that.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, I was like, "What the? Why is it spinning like that?" I've
You
never
can
seen it do
kind of
that.
see the glyphs a
Oh,
tiny
so
bit
in that
there.
shot, okay, but in the other one, it wasn't there.
Yeah,
Asian
no, it
boy,
wasn't
yeah.
there.
Yeah, very good.
I love that in these episodes where Daniel can't really contribute except just be a member of SG-1. He's always left to like man the Peltac and like do the do the
Yes.
awkward talking. Like, just doesn't he
Alkesh
do the?
introduction. Yes.
Oh yeah, he does. The
Yes.
sun is blinking.
The
or
sun is
something.
blinking. Though that's in the other one. But he's in Enemies. He talks about you have to tell me how to do some of these things. So he begins to learn how to fly the
Exactly.
ship. Because
Yeah.
in
So-
action sequences and episodes, he's minimalized.
Yeah.
He is. So
yeah.
much for protecting Earth's latest acquisition.
Yeah, so much.
Do you think maybe those explosions will just buff right out?
All right. So this is a combination of a few different props. The thing in the middle of it is the device from Brief
Isn't the
Candle.
power thing? Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
that they used in
Nicole's
order to
favorite
get.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got this,
So,
the tactical console. We got that for PropWorks, and it was really beat up by the time it got to us to
Oh
sell.
no!
It was really
Well,
bad
it was
to hell.
reused a lot.
Yeah,
So I believe this is the first time that we see an Alkesh medium range bomber. So according to the internet, it's a speedy and highly agile. I was going to say agile. That's not good. Agile craft with cloaking abilities similar to a Teltac, but it's also armed with staff cannons and plasma charges.
Yep. Mid-range bomber. So, and you may
I can't
be
wait for them to
seeing
reuse these shots.
you may be seeing the Alkesh in a future opening of a Dial the Gate episode. So,
Oh yes, because you've got the different crafts.
We premiered
Very
the
cool.
cargo ship this weekend with Peter DeLuise and Prometheus with Corin Nemec.
Oh,
Oh my god! So I just remembered like Daniel on manning the cargo ship.
That's right.
And then him being like, "Oh, they're Oz the Great and Powerful."
Yes.
Did you say you were? Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, we have burning sections. No good.
Yeah, isn't it here when Teal'c and Jack go down to the planet, and then while Sam and Jacob are trying to fix stuff, Daniel takes over the console?
Yeah.
Yes, he
Trying to figure
does.
stuff
Yeah.
out.
Well, kind of. I don't think he actually really has to do anything.
No, he just has to sit there and freak out that the sun's doing its thing.
Yeah. And then he receives Jack's Mayday.
Yeah.
That's basically it. He just communicates the Mayday.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you have no crew. They can't repair
Yeah.
things. You have
Yeah.
to you have to
No.
leave your station and do the job that they would do.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Carmen. I love it.
Oh,
Me
when
too.
they do the
Doesn't listen.
episode and-
Yeah.
Yeah. Remote pilot all the gliders. That's a thing.
Apparently. Well, don't they just yeet them out of the bay?
Well, they're
Kind of.
they're
Yeah, they
flight.
send
They're in
them
a flight path
direction.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, not yet. But
Yeah.
they will. I'm jumping ahead.
No, they do it later when Apophis rocks up.
Yeah. I was actually about to say Apophis rocks up as well.
Yeah.
And then Yvie said it first in that exact same way. I feel like Yvie and I are just like absorbing each other's like language.
Who's in the Alkesh? Just Apophis loyalists coming to pick up Tanith?
I'm assuming so.
I don't think they ever really addressed that, but assumably, yeah.
Just a bunch of pain in the ass, really good at flying Jafar.
Oh, uh-oh.
I love
There
the way
goes.
they both look. They're like, rude.
Yes, they do.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
really
you for
fast.
stating the obvious. This is what I hate with a lot of television. I just saw that.
They
you
have to
know?
explain it to the
Right,
audience.
exactly.
Yeah.
But when it
Yeah.
comes out of Teal'c, at least it's meant to sound funny. But you
Yeah.
know, it's
Mm.
now that we need that.
Oh, I like the
information
music
we need.
transition here. Sorry, David.
Oh, sure. Enjoy what
I like
can't
I like
hear.
right here. I don't know why I like it a lot.
Maybe Nicole can hum a few bars.
Very
It
similar
was,
to the
it
shot
was
at
like
the
a
end
trumpet
of.
horn going off.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Joel Goldsmith's great. That
Yeah.
shot of the glider flying off was very similar to what was at the end of Serpent's Venom.
Yeah.
Mm.
We'll rendezvous with the third moon of Tishnar.
Yes, the third moon of Tishnar. Oh, yeah. So poor Teal'c, he's blinded by his Jafar revenge. He's
Yeah.
lost
See, he's
all
grown,
perspective.
but sometimes he loses it.
He's losing it in a very calm way, though.
I love the way that Jack's just like, I can't stop him.
No,
No,
there's not.
yeah,
He
yeah,
knows
yeah.
Teal'c
He can't- there's
inside
nothing he
now.
can
There's
do.
nothing he can do.
Yeah.
So Teal'c is fixated.
The way that Jax is so unsure. Just like, yeah, right, yeah.
Like, right. You promise?
I love that he
And
keeps
he's just
asking.
like- He's just completely glazed over. Buddy.
He's not even acknowledging he exists. Brilliant. That's so funny. It's so awful because Teal'c's like, I'm taking you down with me. Sorry, you're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean have?
What do I do with it?
Exactly. We'll be in touch.
I love the way he stands. Like, I don't know why his posture's very funny to me here. Just the way he just kind of like doesn't know what to do. He's like,
He just puts
Just
his
hang
hands
out.
leaning against them.
and then he like stands with a bit of a tilt, so he like perks his bum a little. He's like, right, I don't know what to do.
That's gotta.
That's
be
how I
weapons
would approach
range.
it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Start
So,
firing.
Nicole, the
Yep.
Elkesh is about to shoot upsy downsies.
That's a great Brooklyn Nine-Nine reference.
I don't get it.
There's an episode where who is it? Scully is like, try holding your weapon upside downsies instead of holding your pistol upright. He holds it upside down, and he's like, it'll be a very cool action shot. and then Andy Samberg's character goes in and then does it upside downsies to trick the people, and then he's like, we're not going to talk about it.
This is a great transition of smile on Tanith to frown on Tanith. He's like, oh crap.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
episode is very
exactly.
funny for all the impending doom that's approaching.
Yes, exactly.
Oh dear.
There we go.
Yeah, run, idiot.
Where's he
Yeah,
gonna go?
his eye line was pretty good though.
Yeah.
It looked
Yeah.
like he was looking at it.
Yeah.
We are
Daniel's just
so
bored.
going in.
Yeah.
I really
That's the
I
first
love
of
that line.
his so's for this episode. This is so the last time I help someone move.
He's just so done
Yes.
with everything.
It's funny.
Oh, it is
Oh,
very funny.
dear. He's so done. I do. You know what? Now that you've pointed it out, like, yeah, I'm realizing. I think this is my only gripe with season 4 is that I don't get enough of my baby, my Daniel.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think Michael was necessarily wrong in some of his feelings.
He's not.
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
Michael Shanks is perfectly entitled, especially being like
Yeah.
such a pivotal part of SG-1. To kind of get put to the side a bit is a bit frustrating.
This is a redress
you know-
of the set from the previous episode where
Yep.
the torture chamber. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. So it kind of just hit me sort of how beautiful this is. Like the way Sam and Jacob's relationship has flourished since he
Oh,
became
they're
a
so
host.
cute.
So like
He's
I've
now
got
a
this
nerd
sort of
too.
hunch. Well, basically that's what I was going to say. Like I've got this hunch that maybe Sam joined the military to keep that bond with her father alive.
Yeah.
To have something that they could both share.
Yep.
But now with Salmak in the mix, it's like Jacob's brought this sort of whole treasure trove of tech smarts to the table, and like suddenly
Yeah.
he and Sam can connect on like a more intellectual
little
level as well.
smile.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amanda would say that when Jacob was on the call, when Carmen was on the call sheet, when she knew that he was going to be coming to the set, she would skip through the stage to come and meet him.
Oh,
that's so
Like
cute.
actual
Oh,
like
She
Evie,
loved
thank
him.
you
daughter
so
and father.
much for bringing that up, by the way, because I never actually fully like even thought of that.
It kind of just hit me when I was watching it yesterday, making my notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never
That's so
noticed
beautiful.
the second trail over there to the left. Is that what was left of the Alkesh?
It must have been, like
Okay.
split in part.
Okay.
So with Jack and Teal kind of aware that Tanith and possibly other enemies are still on the planet, it does seem like a bit out of character for these two very like battle-hardened warriors to drop their guard and act so casually
they're
in this scene. So like you'd expect them to be a little bit more vigilant given that they've had a lot of training and experience.
Yeah.
I feel like they're just at the point where it's like, well, we're gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
I guess they chilled out too hard.
Maybe they're like a little bit just shaken up after the crash.
It's probably my favorite line from this episode. How long until the sun explodes? What? Oh. Like so casual about it, checking his watch. Like the sun exploding is so incidental to their day.
So this comment, I've written this gag pretty much exactly just for David. So we know that helping somebody move is a big step in a relationship. It would be like driving the Toker to the airport.
It's funny. It's good stuff. 2, 3. Mothership. 4.
Office.
5. So I thought 5 ships and a mothership.
Yeah.
And
he's bringing the drama.
Main mothership, so 6 ships total. But you say we lose 13.
Apparently, yeah.
Okay.
I definitely think there was more. Yeah.
I didn't stop to count them.
Yeah. I feel like Yvie is right. I feel like I saw more get obliterated than the amount that we're seeing there.
Yeah.
Maybe they just wanted to save money on shots, so they were like, we'll just show you.
Yeah, sure.
They get it.
And they saved them all for Continuum. All the motherships for
Yeah.
Brad Wright was
So
like,
many.
more motherships. No, more motherships. You want us to add? Yes, keep going. Okay.
Teal is so smug now. He doesn't care. Jack's like, I can't believe you brought me here. I'm going to die.
He's just
like
over this. Yeah, he's going to complain because Teal'c brought him there. Huh? Oh.
I
Teal'c's
forgot
just
about
like,
that.
Tanith is dead. It's okay that my son's not going to have a father. It's okay that Braytak's going to lose his son. I got revenge on the guy that killed the woman I was sleeping with.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Sleeping with exactly.
Jeez, Teal'c. Teal'c needs to remember he has a son sometimes. I forgot how much I like the red. The red really works for me.
Okay, so
yes,
you know, every time I hop into a rideshare moving forward, like I want the driver to greet me with the same warmth and appreciation.
So is that like sunburn on his face?
Yeah, he's been out there all day.
Yeah, it must be.
Yep.
Oh, this is so cute. Honestly, I wish I
crystals.
had like a Jacob dad. Sorry, Dad.
I really wanted to say punch it again.
Yeah, punch it.
Punch it, Chewie. How'd you find
big
it?
Ouchies. Big ouchies.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh.
So it's kind of like a neat bit of symbolism that Teal'c's getting shot in the back by one of Apophis's Jafar. Like it's kind of like a poetic echo of how he stabbed Apophis in the back by leaving his service. And this part here is so kick-ass. Like
Action shot, yeah.
Yep.
Don't they use it in the intro or something?
They sure do.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
See, look, that time he didn't get knocked out.
I was gonna say, yeah, you'll notice that he stayed conscious, even though there was no smelling salts to bring him out
grazed.
of it.
Yeah.
Oh, Tanith, you turd of a thing. Screw you. I'm sick of you. Die. Yeah, Jack.
Finally, we got a gold through the rings. We missed Osiris. We missed, I forget who else it was. But
he got a successful shot. He shot him in the shoulder.
Sucker.
Great shot.
They get a replicator in the next episode, don't they? Or like jumps on the ring transporter.
They sure do.
And he gets him in the middle.
Yep. One of my favorite shots from the whole show.
Such a cool shot.
That tracking shot through the rings.
My favorite shot, other than the tracking shot, is the rings in the water in season 6. I cannot wait to get to that one.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite
that is an
episodes of the
amazing
show.
shot.
Yeah.
So
Corin
good.
just
Corin got
talked
so
about it
lucky.
in the interview. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he actually held his breath for that long.
Well,
good
the
for
shot
him,
after,
yeah.
but the one where the rings,
Yeah, they would have to dump a whole heap of water on him to make that work.
Sure. Yes, they had a whole
great job.
container over the set, and then they just dumped it on cue. So, oh boy, here we go.
Daddy's back.
And the girls are gone.
Yeah, you don't. Look,
Yeah, they are.
Send them home. They don't need to be part of this.
Needs to do some serious business.
honestly, Tanith, this is like the best present he could ever give Apophis. Like, he is crushing it.
Yeah, he is.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So David.
Yeah.
I can sense a to be continued coming. SG-1 can't make it. Tilka's still stuck with Apophis. There's no way they'll wrap this up in 5 minutes. Seinfeld? Yeah.
That's funny. You gave me the gift that Harrower promised me. Finally.
So luckily for me, I had the season 4 and 5 DVD, so I was like, no problemo. I had a great time hopping straight into this. My biggest... Isn't that just the same shot reversed that they took from the season 2?
Yeah.
Yep.
The opening? Yeah. I can see it so well. See, that's where I'd have trouble, by the way, if you took a screenshot of that and then said to me, hey, guess the episode of Stargate. I'd be like, well, it's got to be one of these.
Yeah, it's 3 of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I remember finishing season 5 of SG-1 and seeing Daniel die, seeing everything wrapped up, Anubis being met, and I didn't know if there was more SG-1 because I hadn't discovered IMDb.
Yep.
I didn't know if there was any more TV show, and that was the most terrifying day of my life.
Oh no!
This is another great
guards
shot.
Really,
is.
Those red guards really look like lobster.
They
They
do.
do.
Yeah, very much so.
Oh, I want lobster now.
Bottom dwellers.
Evie, when we meet up in California, can we get some lobster?
Sure.
You guys have a great time with that.
Do you not like lobster?
I don't like seafood.
I'm not a huge seafood person, but like
I'm not because I'm
well-cooked
English.
lobster would be okay.
Yeah, like good buttery. But like my family from fishing villages in Spain, so all we have is seafood and
the
shellfish.
Spanish side, yes.
And my rule is, right, my whole thing is, if it's hard to get into, maybe you shouldn't be eating it. You know, like
okay, like because the creature had so many external mechanisms to avoid being eaten, so you need to respect that.
Yeah, leave it alone.
Tilk's gone.
Yeah.
He doesn't know he's only guessing where the rings are.
He's guessing, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
I love the way he kind of tucks in a little bit.
He's
I didn't know.
exactly. He doesn't know. Where's the light coming from? I don't know. The sand.
Oh, here we go. Sun is going.
So I saw Enemies before I saw Exodus. So I
you?
only saw this through the previously on in Enemies because my parents stopped buying Showtime. So this whole sequence was amazing. Oh, so you did count okay, got it. Now I see what you did there. Very good.
So that kind of gives a new meaning to the term heat wave, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Just a wee bit. So cool.
It's so cool. I did not see the twist coming that when they jumped into hyperspace,
they
star
catch the
disturbed
back
the
end
whole system.
blaze. Yeah.
So cool.
So I think it's time to yeet from the flute.
Yeah, exactly.
Evie even made it rhyme. I love that they're like, this is a different hyperspace window.
It's
this
very
is real
green.
fast and very fast. What happened?
Yeah, that didn't feel right.
Because it's usually blue, right? And then I guess the star's explosion of yellow went and hit the blue and made green. So
oh, that's an interesting point.
I feel like maybe that's why they chose the color.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true too. I love the
did he say
nebula
tail
outside.
end?
Yeah, he said tail end.
Nah, it's our tail end. That's
Right.
front end.
The front end, yep.
He's never dead. Also, Jack Scar, totally into it. Anytime he bloodies up that eyebrow, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. We have a Star Trek Voyager problem.
I'm not gonna lie, right? How in the hell in the next episode is it the replicators we bump into? Because that's crazy.
So in one of Joe Malozzi's like Dial the Gate interviews, he said that by the end of season 4, they still hadn't fully developed the second part of the episode, and that included deciding on the replicators' involvement.
Right.
Well, they could either blow up another sun using a Stargate and somehow and try to ride that wave back, or find another species to help us out technologically.
Yeah.
And it was great seeing the replicators.
Cheap and easy.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was unexpected.
But Apophis is really taking his sweet time arriving, I must say, if it's through the same circumstances.
Sup, bruh?
So cool.
Yeah,
So
I
things
find
just
it
went from bad
really
to
weird.
worse.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
find it really bizarre that like so are they in the Asgard galaxy? Is that what the implication is?
No, no. The implication is that the replicators are
Oh, just
everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I wondered. I
Right.
always wondered if they were in like Ida or like if they were somewhere else
Yes.
where the replicators are
Yes.
spread.
No, they're
That
way
was
too
always my
far based
question.
on. But in the next episode, it says how long, or they just said, and I wasn't reading how long.
125 years to
Right.
get back.
It's a little farther than
Mm,
Ida. So
little bit,
I
yeah.
love this episode.
It's a good
This is
episode.
so good.
Yeah. So there was a bit of debate on Reddit about whether it should be called a star or a sun. So I believe technically
it's a
it's a
star.
star.
It's technically
Right.
a star.
However, the general consensus seemed to be that Sam like later refers to it as a sun because she's been influenced by Jack's tendencies to use simpler terms. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think
I feel like
sun
it's simpler
does
for the
sound
audience.
better than
Star, yeah.
like star for sure.
I think
Yeah.
saying it in a certain phrasing is definitely it does sound better.
Mhm.
I'm going to wrap this up very quickly before this thing ends and just say that when we did one of the trivia one times, Jenny said sun for the Vorash thing, and I was like, darling, it's a star. It's in a different system as a
jeez.
joke. And someone in the audience got really irked by me, and I'm like, I'm just taking the piss. Don't worry about it. So yeah,
It's a boat, not a ship.
yeah.
All right, whatever. Thanks for joining us for season 4.
I said that so fast. That was like the fastest I've ever wrapped up a story in my life. But I irked someone in the audience really badly, and I was like, I was just taking the mick. I was just being funny. Please don't come for me. So, yeah, it's good times.
funny.
Also, Shimmering Victoria did leave partway through the episode, so they left their rating. So I'll go through that in a moment. So,
Okay.
which I love. Thank you,
Alright.
Shimmering Victoria, for leaving a rating. Appreciate
Becca
it.
Yeah.
answered my question about
She
the
did.
books.
I saw you
Okay.
respond to her in there.
So the book series is A Matter of Honor and a Cost of Honor from Fandemonium and Stargate SG-1, and it deals with trying to recover. Is it SG-12?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Henry
think so,
Boyd's
yeah.
team, because he feels bad about abandoning them in obviously the time dilation
of
episode.
Time.
A Matter of Time.
Yeah.
The names don't come to me anymore. I just
No, me neither.
So
usually.
Becca, who has read the books, she said, I got thoroughly distracted flicking quickly through the books to jog my memory. I don't want to
Sorry,
spoil
it's
it too
SG-10.
much. SG-10. I do
12 is
recommend
Window of
reading
Opportunity.
Matter of Honor and Cost of Honor, but the massive time dilation caused by the black hole meant that while the sun had started coming through their gate, it hadn't traveled that far yet. Oh, so they were still pretty
Okay.
far enough away from the Stargate. So okay, so that was my whole point was that
Right.
the book acknowledged that they had used the Stargate in this episode for that reason, and that sun was
Okay.
beginning to spew through the other side of the Stargate.
Yeah, so
Ooh.
I
It
would
eventually would have
okay.
enveloped all of them while they were being
Yeah.
ripped apart by the black hole. It would have been a really bad day for Henry Boyd's team. So
so I don't know exactly the full circumstances of how they dealt with it in the science of Stargate. But like I was thinking about it in my brain, and I was like, I mean, if you use a time dilation field in the right spot, like they did with the replicators with the Asgard, then you could easily go in and fetch people. You just don't want to
Probably.
futz with stuff.
yeah,
So
exactly.
that's where my
Don't do
brain
anything.
went.
If you have to mess around with time going backwards, be very careful.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't
yes.
screw up anything.
Yeah, the replicators like to sometimes speed through time and fast forward it or
Yeah.
just stop things and help
Yes.
themselves out. So
Yeah.
that was a crazy episode. I'm excited to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go first again for this one.
Sure.
Yeah, go
I'm
for it.
trying to think. I don't want to be influenced by your decisions, guys. I'm trying to better my rating system. So I think for me, I gave the last one a 6. So I'm just thinking about my enjoyment of that compared to this one today. So I think that this episode has its like things that I have like gripes with, obviously, like everything, and there are some silly moments. But I think overall, I'm constantly laughing. I'm always having a good time. There is a lack of Daniel, and it's a really great 2-parter with so much more to come and such an exciting ending. I'm going to say a 6 again.
Yep.
I think it's a really good time. I love this episode. I think it's great.
Okay.
I've got some 7s coming up next
sure.
season for sure. But I think this is a 6.
I also think that this is a 6. I
Ah.
love the idea of using the P3W, no, not the P3W planet, the Matter of Time planet, for telling another story and having that as the solution to making the sun lose enough of its fuel so that it explodes and detonates. So I always thought that was a cool idea. The visual effects in this episode I love. I think Rick is in top form in terms of comedy and humor. You know, I love the conclusion of all the arcs from over season 4 in this episode, and where they just leave us hanging at the end of this episode. So it's a total 6 for me.
And you're right going with what you're saying, David. It's P3W451, I believe.
Yeah.
So...
Okay. Good job. Go with your instinct.
Yeah.
So I actually had already decided before both of you put in your ratings that I was also going to give it a 6.
Yay!
Because I definitely like it more than the previous episode.
Yeah.
Again, I do enjoy the way that it's tied up some stuff. I really actually kind of do like seeing Tanith again. I like that they've brought him back. And I do love the team dynamics, even though Daniel is a little bit on the sidelines.
Yeah. He's still funny. He's still cute.
Yes. And, you know, Tilk kind of trying to get some more of his Juffa revenge in, seeing as he didn't technically get to do that in the previous episode.
And he still doesn't get it. He got away.
No, not really. It sort of failed, but I really enjoy this episode. The graphics are great, and I kind of feel I kind of feel sorry for Sam, because this episode sets a benchmark for her capabilities. You know, well, you blew up a sun.
In many respects, they harken back to it repeatedly. So,
and she's always trying to kind of like
live up to that expectation.
Live up to that, yeah. Exactly.
It's ironic that this is living up to an expectation. While with McKay, he blows up like most of the solar system.
Solar
and
it's
bad one.
It's 5/8 or whatever. Yeah, I forget what the exact. Yeah.
He makes the percentage like worse when he corrects like Weir or whoever. So.
But he blows that up out of incompetence rather than deliberate intent.
It's just really funny, just the way that like both their careers are just like this and then that. So.
Sometimes they have to blow up some serious things.
Funny explosions are fun. Yeah. People like big explosions. Weapons at maximum, guys.
Weapons at maximum.
Yes.
200.
Yes, and cool guys don't look at explosions.
Yeah.
Nicole, what our audience have to say?
So Sherman Victoria said, "Sorry, I got a dip." So before they left, they said, "Life is calling me away, but I give it a 6. I love the humor, especially the ambitious stuff. Jack's multiple names for Teal and Daniel just being his true awkward self. Followed up with the birth of the iconic exploding sun. The acting is wonderful. I don't usually like the whole big season finales, but this is a fun one. It's very enjoyable. I'm sorry I can't watch." No, thank you, Shimmering Victoria, for being a part of this journey.
For sure.
We don't care when you submit your ratings, as long as you happily submit them whenever you can.
Yeah, thanks for stopping.
We appreciate it.
Yep.
Jean Diana said, "I always felt like we saw Daniel more in season 6 than we saw him in season 4 and 5." Woo! I mean, I think he got some pretty big episodes. Right. Yeah. So we have Anthony said it's a 5 from me. Lockwater said Tanith, the Tokras version of Kinsey, is so smug and unlikable, but the episode still rates a 5. Tanith's look was priceless during the chase. Reminded me of North by Northwest.
Yes.
Great setup for season 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know what they're talking about. Yep.
Jean Diada said it's a 3 for me. Ooh. Okay. Apophis again knocks it down. Why not just keep Cronus alive and use him in these 2 episodes? Jean Diada did start saying leading up to this in the last something's broken my house. In the last few weeks and times we've been talking, Jean Diada was saying, why haven't we been keeping Cronus around, and why does Double Jeopardy eliminate him early? And I do kind of agree. Why couldn't Cronus be part of this journey as well? So
yeah, they were big Apophis fans, and they really wanted to really up his game for this, and blow him up one last time.
Time. But it's good. I'm glad. It's really funny.
But he's come back so many times before that it's still kind of hard to believe. And he's not really gone when he's gone.
Right.
Jeff Golker even said to me, he was like, "I refuse to believe he's dead." When he appeared in season 8, he was like, he was like, "He's back," and then I was like, "No, but he's not. It's a different timeline."
And
then he saw him again in Continuum, and he was like, "I knew he was going to be back."
No. But like, that Apophis did incinerate over Domax, so for sure.
Yeah. So Becca gave this a 6. Dan Ben said 5, a good episode. Jacob said very strong 6. I think I also give this a strong 6, and the last one. One of my favorite finales, big and epic, but with more personal Teal'c storyline too. I love focusing on Teal'c. I do think, Michael Shanks, as much as I want him to get more stuff, and I do find the balance hard to achieve between 4 members of a main cast team. But like having Daniel kind of put to the side a bit is but season 4 is amazing even with that, which goes to show that it's not really one person that does the whole show. It's like it's
Correct.
a team effort. So,
Yes, exactly.
which is great.
Collaboration.
You can take parts of SG-1 out and it still works, even season 9 and 10, but dips definitely. Nick Nar said 6. Lockwood just said great 666 from us 3.
Oh jeez.
Oh God.
Anthony said that for McKay's thing it was 5-6, but it's not an exact science. Yeah.
Lockwatcher, Sam can't finish her motorcycle, but she can blow up a star.
Saw
Hey,
that.
Mum's in the chat.
Yes, my mother's in the
Good
chat.
job, guys. You look great. Oh, hello.
Oh, hi, Mrs. Reed. Thanks for joining us.
We love you. We wish you well. We appreciate you. I'm smiling so much.
Anthony says, I'll tally all of season 4 results and put them up in the chat and during Wednesday's stream. So yes.
Yes.
Digest
Wormhole-
how
Forward to
good it's gonna
Wednesday's
be.
stream.
Not Wormhole Wednesday, midweek movie on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Movie Wormhole Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to be
Inner Space.
Yes, Inner
One that
Space.
I haven't seen.
Mhm.
We're
That's
gonna,
it.
then we're gonna try
I
and
haven't
hit
seen
David
it
one
in
that
a
he
little
hasn't
while,
seen.
but it's a movie that I first saw as a child. I think it was one of my dad's 80s favorites. I think it came out in the 80s.
I haven't seen
So
it in 10 years, so it's gonna be pretty new for me too.
Yay! And Robert
I-
Picardo.
yeah.
I just remember him in a bathtub, I think.
Yes.
So, yeah.
He is in a bathtub at one point with his boots on still,
Yeah,
like
the
his
cowboy.
boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see that. That sounds interesting.
You will see it.
Robert
I,
is great in this film. And he
I'm
trying to
has
think.
hair.
What can we? Oh God, I didn't know he had hair ever.
He has a lot of
I'm not
hair.
gonna
A lot
lie.
of
As far
hair.
as I'm
Movie.
concerned, he was born without hair, as most babies are, and
You-
then grew up with no hair.
He has a fro. Like he has this
Yeah.
big curly
Yeah,
fro.
there are
It's
you look
gorgeous.
at you look up Robert Picardo afro, that is his real hair.
Oh
Yeah.
God, good
Yeah.
for him though. What happened?
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It all
genetics.
came out in the afro.
Age, yeah. I'm trying to think. Evie, we need to start discussing and trying to figure out compile a list of like sci-fi fantasy kind of films that David hasn't seen, so we can try and get
We
him.
should
It's gonna be
watch
pretty
one that
hard.
none of us have seen.
Yes, but it's gonna be
yeah.
hard to achieve that. So we need to try and hit
Yeah.
David with something that he hasn't seen. David's like, they don't
He's
exist.
seen
I've
a
seen everything.
lot.
Unless we see
Yeah.
something relatively new. I mean, there's a lot that's coming out that's we can look into. We don't necessarily have to do old classics, but I do want to do something that's highly rated. So yeah, we'll poke
Yes,
around. But
something
yeah,
that's easy
let's
to
do
find.
Inner Space.
Yeah.
Let's do a comedy. So and we did
Yeah.
The Fifth Element, but
Different kind. Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. And you haven't seen it, right, Nicole?
I have not. I am
Okay.
looking forward to that.
Okay.
So no idea what it's about. So hit me with it.
Oh, it's a
No. Shh.
oh, okay.
Leave it a secret. Let's leave it a
I
secret.
want to know
Good.
nothing, David. I want to be so surprised that I go in, I know nothing, and then I just get hit with all the chaos.
I'll say this: Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I know that reference.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
So,
that's a pretty good hint.
There is
Yeah.
there is a connection. So I'll say
There
that.
is a
Okay.
connection.
Not
yeah.
not like in the same universe or anything, but in terms of
No.
concept.
No.
Interest. Okay.
Have you seen Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
I know of it, and I know the
What's-
context
yes,
of that.
there we go.
So,
Okay.
Yep. So chew
Like,
on that.
I played the game Grounded, and someone was like, "Grounded is just like Oblivion's version of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids," and I was
Oh,
like, "Okay,
Okay.
interesting." So I was like,
Very good.
That's where I learned that from. So.
All right. All right. Well, sounds good, guys. Well.
Oh, Anthony said Stardust was mentioned at some point. It's technically a fantasy, but it has a lot of like cool stuff,
Not
and it
seen
could
it.
maybe pass.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
I
was
haven't
it. I
seen
think-
it either, but
I think that's the one
Nicole's
that
seen
I
it
pulled up
multiple
as
times,
close
I
as
think.
possible to something that David hasn't seen, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Well, if
And
you, if
Anthony
you
brought
care
it
about
back.
it that much, then yeah, it might be worth a look. So.
Top 10.
Wow. Okay.
And it says star in it, so it counts.
Start. All right, gang. Thank you for joining us through season 4. Hit that like button
Yeah, thanks,
if you
guys.
haven't
Please,
yet.
yeah.
It helps the
Follow us on
show.
socials.
Yes, and please tell a Stargate friend or family member.
Yeah.
To join
Drag
us.
them all down with you
Drag
on this
them.
journey.
Yeah.
Kicking and screaming.
Recruit them to our cause.
We appreciate
come to
you
the dark
tuning
side.
in, and we will hopefully see you this Wednesday, if not next Sunday for 501
Woo-woo!
and 502.
Season 5.
Talk to you soon. Be well.
Bye.
Bye.